Heidi ho, good neighbors. We made it to Friday. Hope everybody had a great week. I hope everybody's relaxed, had a nice meal, is ready to sit down, hang out with a bunch of cool guests tonight, and just relax, be part of the conversation, and have a good time. I'm Phil Russert. I'm the host of Creatorcon Q&A. And as you know, tonight we have a 2.5-hour marathon of guests, and I hope that you can stick around for as much as possible. You can always rewatch the show at a later date if you look right there. That is our Linktree link, and it goes to pretty much everything related to me and what I'm doing in the industry. But you can go to the YouTube channel, which is Creatorcon Event. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, please hit the bell, do everything you can to support. You can also watch past episodes that we've had. Having said that, also, everyone, please share this live so that we can really get some exposure and get everybody out there. We have a lot of great guests that have different things from campaigns going on to art sales to YouTube channels of their own to podcasts that we'd really like to get enough exposure for them. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job. So please share out and help everybody and give them support. Before we get into our first guest, who's got a lot of great credits in the industry, I just want to do a few shout-outs. First, I want to let you know that I'm not the only podcast or radio live stream or whatever out there. You have Comics Cast with Joe Tolliver and Jarrell Motos. I hope I pronounced your name right, Jarrell. I'm sorry. Really great guys. They have great content. They really support the indie industry. So go check out Comics Cast and go follow Joe Tolliver and Jarrell Motos, Jerelmotos. Those are the hosts of that show. Go check that out. We also have Android's Amazing Podcast, which is James Santana and his co-host Hunter, and they also are part of the local comic shop that I go to, Amazing Androids Comics. But anyway, go listen to their podcast. It's on everything, Spotify and everywhere else you can find it. And they talk comics. James is very knowledgeable, very personable. It's a great show. Go check that out. We have The Bitten Apple with Rafael Tavares Jr. and crew. They will actually be press at my show on December 6th, and they do some great content as well. You can find them on YouTube and Facebook as well. Go check them out. We have It Came From the Radio with your host, Mark Torres. It's an online radio show, and basically they are a very informative show. They have everything from pop culture and indie culture to just basically, news on the scene between movies, comics, you name it. And I actually will be a guest this Wednesday on the show. So if that interests you, come on out. If it doesn't, no problem. My wife doesn't want to listen to me either. We have Mad Titan Comics, which is all your comic book needs. It's Mad Titan_comics on Instagram. And Eric Gunderson is the owner and operator, and he is on Facebook. So please go check him out if you want key issues, slabbed issues, dollar issues, you name it. He's the guy to go help fill in your run or get that issue that you want to get graded. So go check that out. We have Art by Kike, which is Enrique Lopez, and he is on Instagram, Art by Kike, and every Monday night he has his show, Inking with Kike. It's at 8 p.m. He inks a piece from the guest that he has on the show. And this month is Female Artist Month, so he'll have different female artists on every week. So please go check that out, Art by Kike on Instagram. And finally, we have the great Andy Lee. Andy Lee is an awesome human being. He's been very helpful to me in the show. He does all my promotional graphics. I cannot thank him enough. He's even doing the website updates for me on Suffolk Comic and Art Expo. And his website is www.lesdudis.com, LESDUDIS.com. Everything pop culture, everything geek culture. He does con reviews that he's been to, collectible reviews. He even does food reviews, places to go and eat, near the cons that you go to. So please check out Andy Lee at www.lesdudis.com, LESDUDIS.com. So that's all our shout outs right now before we get into everything. Tonight's going to be fun. It's going to kind of be like a little mini virtual Comic-Con, a panel of different people. We have everything from indie creators to our first guest who's been with DC and Marvel. We have podcasters. We have inkers. You have everything you can think of that we're going to talk about tonight. So to get started, I introduce you to he worked on Aquaman. He worked on Iron Man. He worked on Punisher, some of the 2099 series, Uncanny X-Men, Cable, Deadpool, Gambit, Wolverine, you name it. He's been very successful in the industry for DC and Marvel, as well as the indie scene. And he does have his own book that he just had a successful, very short Kickstarter for, which will be Indiegogo soon. And we're going to get into that. I was about to welcome Peter Palmiotti, but he just cut out. So while we wait for him to get back in, Peter Palmiotti, as you know, has inked many of those great titles, and he's working on his book Retro. He had a successful short Kickstarter. He's going to finish fulfillment for that Kickstarter and then start an Indiegogo probably in January. While he's on and we're discussing it, he's going to be working on pages, actually, inking pages while we talk. Unfortunately, like I said, just as I was about to bring him on, he apparently got kicked out. His Wi-Fi has been spotty, so we'll see about that. My guest spot will air this Monday, Mark said. I'm on next Wednesday, so I'm so confused. Anyway, I'm confused, Mark. Anyway, and terrestrial radio show, Mark, that's another show. Put any links if you want in the chat. Well, anyway, Peter is back. So without further ado, Peter Palmiotti, I think. There we go. Hey, Peter. Are you there? Peter. Okay, we're having some signal problems with Peter, so this is starting off really well. Peter, are you there? Peter? Peter? Yoo-hoo! Okay, Peter was having some Wi-Fi issues before we got on. There was a delay on his audio, and apparently they're not resolved. Terrestrial is the actual radio show. Okay, thank you, Mark. I don't know what's going on, but Pete's connection is not doing well. Well, while we're waiting, I'm going to give you the lineup, okay? After Peter tonight, from 10 to 10:20, we have Brett Sherman, who is an artist, and he has an art book out now. It's for sale on Amazon, and we're going to show some of that art and talk about it, and hopefully you guys will go out and support and buy it. And Mark May will be on from 10:20 to 10:40. He has been involved in the book Hellbringers, as well as some other projects, and he has his current Hellbringers card game that he has a campaign going on, I believe is ending soon. So we're going to talk about that. We have, again, I hope I pronounced this right, I'm sorry, Chuck Pineau, or Pineau, or Pinois, I'm not sure. And we lost Peter. And Chuck is a writer of some indie comics, and he has a book that is very interesting. It's Cthulhu and Oz, as well as other projects. So we're going to go over that and his campaign that's going on. Then we have Chris Markl and David Allen. They have their own podcast that's pretty cool. They talk about all different things in the industry, from movies to the comics. And they're a lot of fun to listen to. So we're going to get into that and talk to them about that. We have Richard Jones III, who is also an indie creator. He has several projects going on, and we are going to get into those and some campaigns. And we have William Wolford, which will be our last guest tonight, who has been a friend of mine on Instagram, on Facebook and Instagram for several years, and we've never met face-to-face or spoken face-to-face. So I'm looking forward to that. William is an excellent inker. I have work from him, and you're going to see that tonight. We're going to show his work. We're going to be very visual tonight, really try to promote everybody and push. And I don't know if Pete's going to be able to make it on tonight. Yeah, it's gotten worse, Peter. He sent me a private chat. If Peter is not able to come on tonight, we will just make it up to you. I will have him on at another date when we can get things fixed. Use Pete's time to discuss the Supernatural finale. I don't even watch Supernatural. I watched a few episodes. Looked like a good show, just never got into it. Anyway, J.M. DeSantis was hoping that Peter gets his Wi-Fi fixed, but not looking good. So other comic YouTubes, there's Get In Tune by Michael Gracia. Okay, let's put this up. J.M. said another YouTube is Get In Tune by Michael Gracia and J.D. Calderon's channel. So guys, check that out. That's the other thing I want to let everybody know. To whoever's watching tonight, we've unfortunately, Peter Palmiotti was supposed to be on, but he's having serious connectivity issues. So I don't know if that's going to happen. So we might just hang out until my first guest comes on at 10. If that's the case, I do want everybody to know, too, though, this is a special episode I put together at the last minute because of cancellation number 3 this month. And I want to really use it to promote people. Everyone who has something to promote who is here in the chat, feel free to put your link to whatever you're promoting in this show's chat. You can do that. All I ask is that if you're going to promote yourself, try to be fair and stay on and watch as much of the show as you can to promote the others so that we can support each other and build each other up. That's the important thing. We got to work together. We got to be unified and work together and help each other. So that's the way it goes. And I don't know if Peter is going to be back on, unfortunately. I think we're going to have a problem with that. That's unfortunate. I'm going to give him a little more time, and if he doesn't come on, we'll go from there. We'll wing it. That's what you do, right? You wing it and you improvise. And sorry about that, Brett. I forgot to send you all the link in the chat, so it's there now. You guys have it for when you're ready to come on, because I was dealing with the connectivity issues with Peter. Peter has had an extensive career as an anchor in the industry. He's well known for his works. He's also the brother of Jimmy Palmiotti. Peter is a great guy. He has his YouTube channel that I'd like you to all go check out, and I'm going to shout it out for him since he's not on. His YouTube channel is called Peter Retro Palmiotti, and I want you all to go to his YouTube and subscribe if you can. Peter Palmiotti. Again, he's a famous thinker in the industry. He's a good guy. And his work has been on amazing books. I mean, books that you have in your collection. X-Men and Iron Man and Wolverine and Cable and Deadpool and Gambit and some of the 2099 stuff, The Punisher, Aquaman. So you probably have books with Peter Palmiotti's work in them. So go to his YouTube channel, check him out, support him. Follow his indie stuff. Again, he's going to have his book Retro out soon. If you go to his page on Facebook, Peter Palmiotti, you can even DM him. He's very friendly, very good at correspondence. He'll get back to you, and you can do that. I'm not even getting messages from him. So I think we're probably, unfortunately, going to have to count out Peter tonight. So what I'll probably do is I'll let our next guest, Brett, on very soon, sooner than 10. Thanks, Mark, for putting Peter's YouTube in there. I appreciate that. So, again, we have a bunch of guests tonight. Let me see if I can bring this up, and then we can get going with that. So anyway, tonight's the indie show. Not starting off very well. Peter Palmiotti was supposed to be on from 9:30 to 10, and unfortunately his Wi-Fi has crapped out. Hey, Del, what's going on? So I apologize for that. It is what it is. I know I did a post recently about my jam pieces. As you can see behind me, some of my jam pieces. I was doing short 20 to 30-minute episodes going over my jam pieces and showing them. And I had asked if people were still interested in me doing them. I had a few people say yes, but it didn't seem like enough to really continue. So if you do want me to do some of these jam piece shows, let me know in the chat. Tell me, yes, do them. And if it's enough people and it makes sense, then I will do it. Peter is coming back. Look at this. Risen from the dead, I think. Let's see. Is he risen from the dead? Peter. Let's do a seance. See if we can bring him back. Peter, I didn't get my Ouija board out. Where are you? Hey, John Jay. All right, Peter, do we have you? No, we don't. All right. But you get to see some of the action panels on his sequentials. Are you there? I hear breathing. Peter. Oh, Peter. This is... Wow. Peter, are you there? Okay, because I hear him breathing. I hear something, but I think he's frozen. I don't think we're gonna have him on tonight. Peter, you. Anyway, do it on YouTube at least, Del. You think I should do at least just the videos for the jam pieces on YouTube? It's an interesting thought. Some after views on it. I was just hoping for more interaction live, because I was doing the free art giveaway, the prints, when I was doing the jam pieces, and unfortunately, people weren't really chiming in or listening in to get to join the contest to win the art. So when you can't give away free art, something's wrong. Yeah, Peter apparently is just not happening tonight, unfortunately. So I am sorry about that, guys. I will reach out to Peter. We'll try to get everything fixed, and we'll do this another night with Peter Palmiotti. We'll give him a lot more time. Unfortunately, his connection is not doing very well. All right, so I guess we're going to move on to the next guest, which was slated for 10 o'clock. The next guest is a local artist. His name is Brett Sherman. It's pronounced Sherman. It's spelled Scheuerman. So if you want to follow him on Facebook, he also goes as Alfred Pennyworth. So that would be his Facebook tag if you'd like to go follow him. We're going to discuss his art book that is out now. It is on Amazon, and we're going to show you some art from the book. He's very talented. So without further ado, Brett Sherman. Hey, Brett, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
All right, you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, we're off to a great start tonight, guys. So welcome to the show. Thanks for reaching out. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I just started drawing about 2.5 years ago because I met two local artists here in Florida where I live, and that's around the same time I got into comic books. I didn't read any of them growing up, but I did watch Spider-Man, Batman, all that when I was a kid. But meeting those artists 2.5 years ago, I got a couple of pieces from them, and I just fell in love with artwork right there.
Who are some of your inspirations?
It would have to be those two guys there that I met, Javier Lugo and Alan McMillan.
Okay.
And in the actual comic world, in like Marvel, DC, Image Runaway, it's going to be Todd McFarlane and some Jim Lee.
Nice. The big guys.
Yeah,
Very
I
cool.
think so.
So you have your art book out now. That is on Amazon, correct?
Yes, sir, I do. And I have a couple of copies here that I've been signing. It's
Very nice.
it's a 40-page book of celebrity artwork.
So that's John Wesley Shipp as the Flash, right? From the
Yeah,
series.
that's the 90s Flash.
I love that show.
First page is Negan.
Excellent likeness art. Very nice.
Yeah. And we have a couple of.
I have them here digitally. Would you rather me just put them up digitally?
Yeah, you can do that. That'd be easier for you.
Okay. Share screen. All right. So we have the Flash. That's the cover.
Yes, sir.
And then we have Negan, like you said. Now, do you also ink and color, or do you just pencil at this point?
Well, I have some pages that are colored. I think I
Did you
sent
did the
you some
coloring
that
on
are
the
colored.
cover?
I colored the cover. All the work here I did. I did ink, I did color, I did the pencil.
Very nice. So Bela Lugosi is Dracula. Very cool.
Yep. I
I
did
like
that
the use
one
of shadow.
around there in October.
I like the use of shadow. You capture the whole spirit of it. Very nice.
Yeah.
Avery Brooks as Captain Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're using photo reference for these?
I did. I used a photo reference, a actual photo of these people. Yes.
Do you have any formal training, or did you just start because you loved it and that natural? Just
It just started when I went to the local comic book store and met these artists. I before in my whole life I didn't really think I could do a stick figure, let alone do this.
well, you're certainly doing a lot more than stick figures. This looks great.
Yeah,
Heath
sure.
Ledger Joker.
That's
Very
one of
nice.
my favorite right there, favorite versions of the Joker that I've done.
Very nice. Why he's so serious? Very nice. And we have Robin Lord Taylor as the Penguin from the show Gotham.
Yes, sir.
Now that's pencil shading that you did there, right?
Yes, sir. That's all pencil right there.
Very nice. John Goodman, The Big Lebowski. Look at that. That looks. I mean,
Yeah,
your likeness art is very good. It looks really a lot like them.
that one I'm proud of the foreshortening in the hand and the detail on the gun.
Absolutely, I agree. Great on the foreshortening. Excellent. By the way, I'm sorry, just to let everybody know, Peter said his internet is screwed. He tried rebooting and nothing worked, so he's sorry that he couldn't be on. We are sorry too. We will definitely get Peter on for a full episode one afternoon. We did plug your YouTube channel to Peter, and Mark Torres did put the link to your YouTube channel in the chat. Feel free to plug anything else you want in the chat, Pete. Thanks for trying.
The panels that we saw when you were trying to get him on there look pretty cool.
Yeah, well, he's a pro. I mean, he's been doing this for years, and like I said, he's published, with DC and Marvel, and he's done so many indie books. He's well established, really nice guy too, really down to earth. So sorry to see that he couldn't come on.
Yeah, that's a real shame. I would have loved to have seen that one.
Well, we'll get him again. So this is a very excellent likeness of John Goodman, and look at that, David Bowie. What was it, Star Child?
I don't know who it was. I just happened to be looking on the internet for some celebrity photos, and I saw that one.
Yeah, I forgot the character. It's based on the album that he did. I was never a big Bowie fan, but look at that. Clint Eastwood, very nice.
Every time I look at this picture, I think of that Gran Torino movie.
I love that movie. I love that movie and that car. Very nice. And then we have a Fantasy Island. That is awesome. I was just watching Star Trek Wrath of Khan again recently, which is one of my favorite sci-fi movies. And Ricardo Montalban, as over the top as he could be, was he was so good as Khan in that movie. It was great. But look at that. I mean, your likeness work is excellent when someone automatically right away knows exactly what they're looking at and who they're looking at. So, look at that, Frank Gorshin. Very nice.
Yeah, I did that just trying to get in there and do my favorite 66 Batman characters.
Very nice, and you did all the coloring and everything yourself. Excellent. Sean Connery, the late Sean Connery, just passed away.
Yeah, I did this one before he passed away, though.
Yeah. Well, it's an excellent job. Great likeness. And what else? And John Candy, to me, it's one of the funniest movies ever made. Spaceballs.
Yeah.
To this day, when Princess Thespa takes off the Leia hairdo, like earphones, I still die laughing every time. I mean, it never gets old for me. It's just it's so great. Jack Nicholson, that's really cool. Really nice.
I started that out as just a pencil, but I didn't like it, so I tried to ink it, and it just turned out really great.
I'm really impressed. You only started picking this up like 2.5 years ago to be able to put this out there. That's awesome. Vincent Price, Very nice.
When I did this one here, I was looking for a good way to do him as the Egghead or whatever his name was in
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah. I see. I grew up with him as the Egghead. I grew up with him in was the Last Man on Earth, and I grew up with him cursing the Brady Bunch. It was the best episode of the Brady Bunch. And sorry, we're going into other territory. All right, so that's some of the stuff from your book, and your book is on Amazon now. Do you want to? Let me see if I can grab that link to drop it in. Whoops, I just shut everything down. Sorry about that. Let me get that going again. Alrighty. Anyway, so it's on Amazon. How much is it selling for?
On Amazon itself, it's for $25, but that's unsigned. But I feel like if you go through me, I feel like I can give you a better deal. So I'm doing it personally for $15, and you get it signed.
And this is 40 pages of art, right?
It's 40 pages, yeah.
Well, that's a lot. That's excellent for $15. I mean, you can't beat that. And like I said, it's quality art. I mean, I love your likeness art. Who else do you have in the book? What other kind of pictures do you have? Tell us.
Well, you saw the one Star Trek character. I have another one, Tim Russ. I have Harrison Ford. I have.
You want to show us the book? Show us.
Yeah, let me. Right here next to Dracula, I have.
Go the other way. The other way. There you go.
Yeah, I have Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges is nice to go along with what's his name?
Yeah.
John Goodman. Let me see if I can find that link to
and I have
your Amazon.
Tim Ross.
Oh, very nice. Who else do you have in there?
I got Cesar Romero as the Joker.
Steve Garcia said that Jack Nicholson is awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. I've got Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice.
Oh, nice. Say his name 3 times, guys. Dell said, looks like you love to draw. What lit your fire? What pushes you to continue to draw and get better?
Well, really what continues me to draw is I follow my friends that I met at the comic book store, and just seeing their artwork day in, day out, it pushes me to get better, because I want to work with them on something, which, as a matter of fact, I am working with one of them on something. I've got a comic book character that I created, too.
Oh, nice. You want to tell us more about that?
His name is Green Tempest. It's an alien from another planet named Tempet, and it's a friendly species of alien. And they're all really friendly. They all know each other on that planet, except for one character. His name is Hailstorm. You think of him, he's got boulder-sized hail for power and acid rain. But he's kind of like a male version of Storm.
Okay.
In his abilities with his abilities there. And Green Tempest, he's a mix of the Flash and the Incredible Hulk.
Wow. So does he have the strength of the Hulk and the speed of the Flash?
He has the speed of the Flash and the ability to get as big as the Hulk does.
And are you going to make a book out of this?
Yeah, we're currently working on book 1 on Green Tempest.
And will this be crowdfunded? Will you be doing Kickstarter and Indiegogo, or are you going to self-publish this like you did your art book?
I'm going to talk to the artist Javier about it and see what he recommends, but that one we might do crowdfunding for because it might reach a wider audience, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the toughest hurdle that indie guys suffer is distribution.
Yeah.
Unless you can get widespread distribution, it's very hard to get the book out there. So crowdfunding is probably the best option for someone who doesn't have the diamond account option or isn't going through a publisher, like Boom or Counterpoint or guys like that. So Dell says, wow, we need to see this character. I'm imagining the Hulk running like the Flash. I got goosebumps.
Oh, he's gonna be able to run like the Flash. When he gets big, he does not lose that speed.
That is going to be interesting. We look forward to seeing that. You should, again, any posts you want to put up or in the chat or anything, any links, please feel free to do that. Everybody, I want you to know this is Brett Sherman. He also goes as Alfred Pennyworth on Facebook. Go follow him. Like his posts. Go buy the book on Amazon. You saw some of the art in there. It's incredible, great likeness art. And keep an eye out for the Green Tempest coming up. Anything else you want to plug?
This book is not only available on Amazon, it's also available digital.
Oh, okay. Amazon. And how much is the digital version? $5.99. Excellent. $5.99. So if you unfortunately are limited on funds, you can still go get the digital for $5.99, guys. That's very affordable for 40 pages of art.
Yeah, I wanted to make it easier because of the current situation that we're in.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's great to offer that because people do need options these days, and it's not easy. It is definitely not easy.
Yeah.
So, if we're going to Amazon, what will we type in?
And when you go to Amazon, you can just either type it in or you can go to books and then type in Celebrity Art by Brett Sherman.
Yeah, I'm going to put it. It's a long link, but I'll put it in there in the chat for people to click on it. That's the one you gave me for Amazon.
If you want to just do an easier way, just type in Celebrity Art by Brett Sherman.
And Sherman, as you see spelled there, guys, it's Scheuerman.
Yeah.
Well, look, awesome. Thanks, Brett, for coming out. I appreciate you showing us everything. You're really talented for doing 2.5 years. Your art it's excellent. I can only imagine what you're going to be in 10 years from now. So.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, and keep plugging away, and let us know when you're going to be ready for the book for Green Tempest. A lot of people seem interested, and we'd love to see how that's going. Oh, wait. Steve said, oh, so you're Alfred Pennyworth. Hi, Alfred.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen him around there, too.
Steve is slowly becoming the governor of Facebook or the mayor or something. So, yeah, he's like the mayor of Facebook. We'll call him that. So, cool. He said, cool book, fun art.
Yeah, I really had fun with this one.
Well, look, Brett, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on early for us. And we want to follow you and look forward to getting the book.
I really enjoyed this, and I really thank you for having me on. I look forward to seeing the other guests.
Absolutely, yeah, and we'll have you on again, like I said, and when you're ready to plug that Kickstarter too. So.
Yes, sir. I'll let you know.
Thanks, Brett. You have a great night. Okay.
You too, man. Thanks.
All right. So that was Brett Sherman. You saw some of the samples of his art. He's very talented. His likeness art is awesome. So please go support him. Go to Amazon or go through him. He said he'll work out a deal with you, or even if you need to get the digital, which is $5.99. But again, $15 for 40 pages of art of that quality is a great deal. That is really good. We're supposed to have Mark May on, but he probably still figures he's at the 10:20 mark. So I have one guy backstage that I'm considering putting on now. I think we might do that to get things moving. We're gonna jump if he's cool with that. Is that cool with you, Richard? All right, Richard is ready to go. Richard Jones III is an indie creator, and we are going to get into his projects and everything he has going on. And I'm enthused about what I see that he's doing, and I hope you will be too. So, Richard Jones III, what's going on, man?
Hey, Philip, how you doing?
How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm glad you came on early. Things have started off rough tonight.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I tried to go live with Adam the other day, and we couldn't get anything to work. Like Facebook just did not want to cooperate.
yeah, I mean, it was weird. Peter was okay, and then all of a sudden we had delays, and then all of a sudden his video was freezing, and I was like, yeah, this is just not starting off right at all. But either way, you're saving the day by coming on early. I appreciate that.
No problem at all, man. I appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely. So I want you to take a few minutes, tell us who you are, what you do, and then we'll get deeper into what it is, you're promoting, your Kickstarter and everything like that.
Okay. Well, as the screen says, my name is Richard Jones III. I haven't drawn in probably about 20 years and just started back up about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
The main reason why I've kicked it into gear right now is because I was laid off because of the whole COVID situation.
Right.
I've been a graphic designer for about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And was at my current job or my past job for like 5 years. And they just called us in one day and basically told us all that we was going to be laid off.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's rough.
It happens, man. Everybody's got that situation right now. So, so I got back into drawing, just starting out with prints and, stuff like that, just sketch covers. And I actually met a guy, Adam Fields, who I showed my artwork to at a con, and he loved it. Ended up doing some more work, showed it to him. And that day he contacted me, asking me if I wanted to do Prowl for him, which is his book. Doing the inking for that. So that just kind of got me started on this.
So I know you have Prowl. Is that out or is that coming out?
That's out.
Okay, so we're going to get into Prowl. And we also have the Indie Wars, which is being released through Antarctic Press.
Yeah.
December 2nd.
Indie Wars is being released December 2nd. It's a 16-page story that me and Adam did called Constantine's Bane. The writer is Peter Bro. Really cool dude. He's really cool. Trying to think of when the number for the previews is OCT 201116, and that's how you actually order it through previews. Okay. Yeah, this is my first big book.
Excellent. So let's backtrack now. Tell us about Prowl and why people should be paying attention to that, and then we're going to move forward into Indie Wars.
Prowl is kind of like a wolves in sheep's clothing type story. It's set in like a small town. Basically, this guy that wears a stone on his neck, and it actually turns him into a wolf. Yeah, so it's a really cool story. Adam does amazing artwork on it. Adam Blackwell is actually the colorist on that, and I'm doing the inking.
Nice. Keith said got tons of artwork done by Adam, and he's always at Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Oh yeah, Adam's a cool dude. I was wanting to go to Cincinnati Expo. I think it was this year. I think that got canceled this year.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
one of the many.
So, Prowl is it's a 22-page book, or is it a short story? What is it?
I believe it's a 22-page book. I think it's like actually 27 pages.
And where can someone get this book? And do you have, by chance, have a picture or something with you, or
I gave you some pictures, I believe, didn't I?
did you? And there's Mark asking for a link that I gave in the. Okay, Mark. Yeah, this is going real well today. Okay. And now my internet is acting up. I got a
Yeah, you could actually
Facebook
you could
from
pick the book up at Midnight 27 Studios. He's got a shop there. They're all $5 each.
Oops. Sorry, hang on one second because we are having some issues here. Okay. My thing is slowing down. I'm trying. You sent me rlj3.com, and that's all I got from you.
I sent you a Dropbox link that's got all the photos in it.
Oh, you know what? You sent that to me separately. That's why. See, I couldn't. I'm looking at that group thing. That's why. All right. Yeah, you're right. You did, my friend. So let me get that up. So tell us more about Prowl while I grab that, and we'll get some pictures.
Del, actually, I see your question here. It's kind of a suspense thriller a little bit. He doesn't really kill people. He's more a protector. Yeah, it's a really good book. I would hit up Adam on Facebook or like go to midnight27studios.com.
Is he battling with the wolf side of him, or is he in control when he's the wolf side?
Kind of in control, little battle. It's kind of both.
Okay. It's like metaphorical for the demons that we all kind of deal with on a daily basis. Okay, yes, you did send me. My apologies. I got it right here. Let's get this going.
Man. That's all right. You started me early. I didn't even switch my light on. People could barely see me. They probably think I'm a vampire.
No, we see you okay. Actually, somebody said your background was cool. So, all right, here we go. There is Prowl.
There's Prowl.
Yeah, I'm just going to give it a bump up for a second there. Excellent artwork. So that's it right there. It says issue 7.
Yep, I started on issue 7. I believe he had other people working on it with him for issues 1 through 6.
So, and if they want to get prior issues, they go through Adam, or where can we go?
Yep, just go to midnight27studios.com, and he's got issues 1 through 6. Actually, looks like issue 2 is about to be sold out. So,
why is it doing this? It just shut off everything on me. God hates me. No, let me rephrase that. The live stream gods hate me. Okay.
This year, don't say stuff like that.
Yeah, really. It for some reason I clicked on your next picture and it just shut down. It knocked me out.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's Peter in the background. I know it. Peter's messing with me now. I can see it now. Okay. So besides the comic Prowl, you have Indie Wars.
Yes,
I got that to pull up.
Indie Wars, I don't have much information on. That was kind of a hurry up, I need help from Adam.
Okay. And you're an inker on this as well?
I'm doing colors on this with Adam.
So nice.
We both did colors. He did the inking and penciling. And Peter Bro did the story. It's awesome. It looks amazing the way it turned out.
Very nice. The colors do look great.
Oh yeah. As soon as we sent them in, everybody from Antarctica
some action panels.
Yeah.
Very nice. You also have Mora, which is coming out in October next year.
Mora is coming out. That's my book, and this is a book that I started when I was in high school, and actually got it to where it was coming out as an ash can. Had the ash can out, and I seen how the comic book industry was kind of moving towards a crash, and I got out of comic books and went into graphic design field. But now I'm picking it back up. It's actually
Nice. And is this a horror book?
It's going to be a psychological thriller with some mystery thrown in there.
Cool.
I don't want to reveal too much because this is the very beginning stages of it. But if you're a fan of Seven, the movie Seven,
That's a good movie. Rough movie, but good movie.
in like the early 90s thriller movies, it's going to be right up that alley.
Awesome. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. I think your audio cut out.
The Dead Among Us.
The Dead Among Us is actually through Second Sight Studios. Once again, Adam Fields is penciling this, and I'm doing the inking. We have Bradley Golden as the writer, very well known here lately, well known horror writer. This one I don't know much about either because I haven't read the script, and we're still not finished with it. We're kind of doing a few pages at a time, but from what we've got so far, it's turned out really cool looking.
Very nice. So it looks like a nice Christmas tale for everybody. So
Yeah.
family friendly, read it to your 4-year-old.
Yeah, it's definitely family friendly. You can cut out the hole in the cover and look through it.
Yeah. And you are open for commissions?
I am open for commissions. Right now I'm doing a special, mainly for the holidays, and plus I know a lot of people can't afford real expensive gifts right now. Me being one of them.
Yeah.
But, right now I'm doing blank covers for $70, and that's torso up.
Okay. Is that just pencils? Is that inked? Is that colored?
That's exactly what you see on the screen right there. It's going to be pencils, inked colors, and a full background.
Oh, wow. That's a very affordable price. Look at that, guys. Wow.
Yeah, $70 is not bad at all.
Let me do that and get a little bigger there. Wow. Maybe I can zoom in. We can zoom. Phil's figuring things out. Look at that. I know something. Look at that spawn, man. Wow. That is nice. Look at that spawn.
Yeah, a guy in Kentucky actually bought that and had it in his store for probably about a month, and somebody offered him some money for it.
Awesome. And look at that Carnage. And who was that? I can't tell.
The Contest of Champions, that was a book I did for my wife. It's Venom the Duck.
Oh, nice. Oh, there's the duck face. Okay.
Yeah. Because I guess he's in that Contest of Champions video game. So
nice. And the Joker. Dude, really talented, very quality work, very nice, very affordable. So if someone wanted to hit you up for a commission, just follow you on Facebook and meet up with you there and DM you.
Follow me on Facebook or hit me up on my website, rlj3.com.
Okay.
And there's actually commission tabs right on the homepage.
Dude, I love that I'm figuring things out. Look at that. I can zoom in. Look at that. Nice.
Isn't it great when technology works?
You have no idea. I'm already bad enough with technology as it is.
Oh, I do. Like, I'm a designer by trade, so I design. I always have clients hitting me up for stuff. And right now,
this even comes with a chair. Look at that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Right now, I'm building a website for a client of mine, and it's just been a nightmare.
Dude, how is it to see your art inked? I mean, framed like this and hung. That just looks so damn good. Look at that. I really love that Spawn and that Hellboy.
Thank you. And that's kind of the reason why I did it like that. People want to see the prints actually hung up on their wall. They want to see what it's going to look like. So
that is some awesome stuff, man. And again, what are you charging for this quality? Torso colored and everything.
Colored and everything on a blank cover is $70. The sketch cards are $15 each, and that's commission prices as well, $15. An 11 by 17, if you want an 11 by 17 commission, it's $180.
That's awesome. And Richard said, dude, your inks are freaking great. What do you ink with?
Thank you, Steve. I use a mirage of stuff. I do pen and ink with brush. I do microns. What I've been using a lot here lately are combos. And actually, Finch got me onto using Tombos.
Oh yeah,
he uses them a lot. And they mimic a brush very well.
Very cool. So Prowl is out, 7 issues. Richard worked. You can check that out. Again, let us know where to check that out.
Prowl is at midnight27studios.com.
Midnight27studios.com. You have Indie Wars.
Indie Wars.
Right?
That's just through the Antarctic Press website.
Okay. And then, of course, The Dead Among Us is in work, right?
Dead Among Us is in work, yep. And I've heard that it's going to be shopped around to other places, but for right now, I believe it's going to be Second Sight Studios that's doing it. So.
And, of course, then there's your own creator-owned title, Mora, which we should be looking for come October 2021.
Yep. If all things go well, yes.
And will that be a Kickstarter, Indiegogo, self-published through, you're going through a publisher, or what are you doing?
I don't know. It'll probably be a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo. I'm not 100% positive yet. I've never done one of those before.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to research that, obviously.
Our next guest is a pro at those, so stick around and maybe we'll get some answers out of him.
I'll be picking his brain, or picking the brain.
Well, look, Richard, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of success with all of this, and we will be following and watching and trying to do what we can to support you, and
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and feel free to drop any links in the chat as well if you'd like.
Will do. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
And I appreciate you coming out early and saving me.
All right. I was here just enjoying the show, man.
Well, you're welcome to stay backstage if you'd like. If not, I understand if you got to go. But thanks again for coming on. I appreciate it. You and Brett so far have been awesome. Your art is great, and you guys have been great.
All righty. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Be good. Bye. Okay, so that was Richard Jones III. And our next guest, you probably all know. He's big on the indie scene. He's worked with a lot of great guys. He's got a lot of credit under his belt. He's currently got his campaign for his card game, Hellbringers. And if you don't know him, you should know him. His name is Mark May. Hey.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? So just to catch you up, I put the link in the group for everybody else. That's why you didn't see it in yours. And Peter Palmiotti couldn't get on, so that was a mess. So we brought Brett in earlier, and then Richard was here, so he came in earlier. So everything's been moving around quite swimmingly. So how you been?
I've been good, man. I just watched The Mandalorian, ate a little pizza.
No spoilers. I haven't watched it yet.
No spoilers. Don't you worry, man. I'm not even going to talk about it.
I'm actually going to pull up the stuff you sent me because we got a lot of art to show. So tell us about yourself, Mark.
Just a normal guy. Loves comic books. Loved them since I was a kid. Loved, creating universes ever since I was little. What else? I like football. I'm from Alabama originally. I moved to Colorado when I was like 19 years old and been living there ever since. I love the outdoors.
This is a dating site, Mark.
yeah, right. I feel like I'm trying to pick up a chick here.
Yeah, don't say that because you're about to go to your girlfriend's. You know.
I know.
You're lucky you're on here and she hasn't killed you yet.
Oh, she's in the other room. So.
So okay, tell us about Hellbringers.
Okay.
The card game.
The card game, awesome. We are on set 3 of Hellbringers, the card game right now. We have tons of amazing artists that are in the set. Dan Fraga, let's see, El Deso Corona. We
You
also
got
have,
Adelso on there?
yeah, I do.
Oh, Adelso's a friend. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is. He's awesome, dude. Yo-Yo Ruiz is in the card set. Brian Peterson is in there. We got a lot of big names. Joseph Rubenstein, who you've had on your show, I think, before.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the set. There's a lot of big names. It's a really cool card game. If you haven't played a game like it, it basically uses dice and paper, and then it uses the cards. It's like a 6 versus 6 battle style game. And then, even if you lose, you still win in a way because you get to be the boss, and then you get to fight the boss, basically. So it's pretty cool. I'm still undefeated. My little brother did beat me once out of 2 out of 3, but that doesn't count.
You're like the Grim Reaper from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
That's right.
Best out of 7. You're damn right. You mind if I pull up the Kickstarter and show everybody the page?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. All right, so this is Hellbringers. First of all, that's Joe Rubenstein on the side there. Beautiful work, of course. You can tell it's painted. Looks fantastic. What do you got? 9 days to go on this.
Yep, 9 days to go on the card game. A lot of times, getting this card game out to a comic audience, you never know if they're going to buy it or not. And it's an amazing card game. And for anybody that's listening that doesn't give card games a shot that's in the comic world right now, just give it a shot. I think you'll have a good time. It's a good way to connect back with your friends. You can play it with them. You can play by yourself too, actually. But me and my friends play all the time. I don't know if you've ever seen any of our live videos of us playing, but we actually enjoy it. Most of my friends only play video games. They don't play any other games. So give it a shot and check it out. It's a lot of fun. We have the card game going on right now, too. We just finished with Chad Harden's Kickstarter for Hellbringers Sacred Heart.
Nice.
And now we're moving on to Jengar and Shred, which is another chapter in the Hellbringers story. And then February 2021, we're looking at Dawn of the Devil, which is going to be our next chapter, which both of these are kind of prequels to the Sacred Heart. And maybe sometime in 2021, we can pick up with the more present-day storyline for Hellbringers. So right now, we're kind of giving you a little backdrop for everything that happened in Sacred Heart. So Sacred Heart's still in backer kit. If you get a chance, check it out for Chad. Chad's a good friend of mine. I'll do anything for that dude.
Yeah, he was just on recently too.
He's good people. I wouldn't even have the confidence to be doing these last 2 books that I'm doing right now if it wasn't for him. So it seems like every one of these shows I get on now, it's just mostly me talking this dude up because like I just there's nothing I can do, man. Like I gotta thank all the people that gave me my shot and be able to get to where we could even be doing this right now. You know what I mean? So Marat Michaels is another one of those guys. I'd like to say thanks to him. And
he's another great guy.
Jacob Stem, Tom Hutchinson, all those guys will give me a shot. That was really awesome. And then Jengar and Shred, the next book that's coming out. I think you got Redbeard the Pirate. So none of this would be possible without Russ either. Russ is great. Russ is like my best friend, and we get to basically work together, which is insane. Like Russ has been a godsend because it's not just work with him. We're actually like having fun. You know what I mean?
Well, he's a good guy and he's funny too.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy, and we're learning this business together. We're learning how to make comic books together, and every step is just a lesson learned. And having your friend there along the way to be able to do it is just
sure.
There's nothing better, you know what I mean? So Russ is a good guy. It's good to see him watching the show. Russ actually messaged me just about 10 minutes before the show started and said, "Hey, dummy, you need to get on because you're about to be on the show."
Thank you, Russ, because I was wondering where the hell he was.
So
Thomas says, "Hola."
Thanks, Russ, for that one. Hola, Comics with Kris, right back to you, buddy.
Peter says, "Hey, at Comics with Kris."
Mr. Peter Palmiotti, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on, like I said, 9:30 to 10, but his Wi-Fi said, "Nah, not happening." So Russ also brought up that Mog Park did the boss card.
Yeah,
So let's
she
take
did.
a look.
Mog's boss card is incredible. Her art for the card actually was so good that it made me change the storyline of who we were going to have for the boss for set 3. So I had to go back and rewrite the entire story, just because of how good her art was. And she's the cover artist for set 3. I gave you some snippets, I think,
Yeah.
Phil,
Yeah, I'm
of
gonna put them up.
the first 3 sets, and then hers is one of the boss card covers. So for set 3,
Just want to
she
show
did
people
good.
some of the stretch goals here too.
Oh yeah, we're getting close to some of those stretch goals as well.
Yeah, you're very close. Very close. So, I mean, you'll get at 750, Mark will sign every card in the deck box. At 1,000, 2 extra cards are added to each deck. 1,500, you get the Hellbringer sticker, and at $2,000, you get a 7x10 art print. Very nice.
So it's sign every deck, not every card in the deck box. What the hell are you trying to do to me, Philip?
Wait a minute, didn't say it said every card? Oh, every card deck box. Sorry.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot, Philip.
Well, hey, reading is fundamental. I fell asleep on the Hooked on Phonics class. What you need to play, you'll need 1 HB card deck, which is Hellbringer, 2 dice, a paper pad, and something to write with to keep track of health points, hit points. The paper deck is recommended for gameplay. Cool. So you got the rules on here and everything. You show the art. Do you want me to show some of the tiers for the pledges?
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you'd like to. What we have really for the tiers is paper decks or foil decks. You know, the foil decks are limited. I've seen them gain value over time for the first 2 sets. The paper decks are not as valuable because, you know, we're just starting. We can print those as much as we need to, but they're not limited as opposed to the foil decks, which are limited and, you know, shine. And we keep in mind how we make the cards and the art based on how it will shine in the foil decks. So it's cool to see both, honestly, because the paper deck sometimes will make the art stand out a little bit more.
Right.
But the foil decks in certain areas, you're like, man, yeah, that needed to be foil for sure.
So let's get into some of that art you show. By the way, here's that cover. I know this is off topic, but while I got it here, this was an awesome cover that you just did. You all right there?
Yeah. Just switching positions. I'm old, man.
I was gonna say you like grunting when you.
I just ate 5 pieces of pizza and 8 hot ones. So.
It's a good thing it's a short show for you tonight, right? You probably have to go do some paperwork in the office. So check out the detail on this cover, man. Wow. Very nice. Very impressive.
So, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. This cover right here, I decided to go all out on. This is my my big self-published project. And, you know, I feel like all the covers that I've put out, for everything I think I've ever done, I feel like in some way I thought I was giving it my all, but I think I didn't. So on this cover, it was one of those, like, I just wanted to give it everything I had. You know, if this was, you know, if these 2 books are going to be my 2 books, this is all I can put out. You know, who knows what's going to happen with a Kickstarter, if it'll blow up or not. We make money. You know, if it doesn't, you know, then, you know, we have to figure out what we're going to do. But I'm trying to go all out for these 2. So I'm doing everything I possibly can in the world to put my heart and soul into these books. And I hope that cover reflects it, because that cover is not what I usually do. And
maybe it is now.
Yeah, I think it will be, honestly. I think it will be. But I like that cover a lot. Sanju's going to have colors this weekend, I think. So I can't wait to see what it looks like colored. And I mean, we already got another cover from Rich and Russ that looks amazing too.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this thing to launch. I mean, the book on the inside is incredible. I'm not saying it because I'm biased. You know what I mean? Rich Bonk is the one that did the art. Gary Kissel from IDW is an award-winning color artist, is doing the colors. McLean McGuire, who's best letterer in the entire world right now. We got him for colors, and Russ is helping us put this whole book together. I mean, I'm working with my friends again. You know what I mean? This is great stuff.
Nice.
Even if we don't make it big with this book, even if it doesn't blow up and make us, a bunch of money, I got to tell you, man, this whole experience, just doing this for the last 2 years, is going to be like the experience I remember for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And hopefully the book, I'm not saying it for sales reasons. I'm saying it for the moment that I open it myself and I put it in my hands. I'm hoping that it's everything that we want it to be. You know what I mean? That way I can at least in like 20
how does that feel though?
How does
How does
it
that feel though? To open that up, have this in your hands, and know that you did this, you were part of this. I mean, that's gotta be really amazing.
I don't have a book yet. So Sacred Heart still hasn't shipped to anybody, and still hasn't shipped us. So once Chad and his crew gets the books out to us, I'll know how it feels to hold what we made in our hands. You know what I mean? And then to be able to hold the Jengar book afterwards will be great too. All these like things that are coming up, like these are just moments that I just want to hold on to as a memory. Like all these people are talking about money, and I'm just like, dude, I just created something that I've cared about my entire life, and like that's all we wanted to do was just get it out in front of people. You know what I mean? And that's what we did.
Linsner, you got Linsner doing a cover.
I do. I got Linsner doing a cover. I don't know how to pull that off. But
I was about to say, you're getting some great people, man.
It's I don't know if they think the passion is infectious and they pick up on it maybe or something like that, and they just want to maybe work with somebody as crazy as I am, I guess. I've got ideas and I like to follow through on them, and I'm tough when it comes to publishing stuff sometimes, but that's only because that's how I've been taught from the people that I've been trying to get work from myself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's you want to get the best product you can possibly get and put it in front of somebody. So I thought to myself, why not get one of the best women drawers of all time, and Mr. Linsner, who sat behind me at Colorado Springs Comic-Con back in 2017 and just became buddies with me.
Well, that's cool.
I couldn't even believe he was sitting behind me. And I was just, I was buying his comics, reading all his comics while I was sitting there, and I had him I commissioned him to do a Sinful Susie. So, I mean, I love that guy, and I didn't think it was going to be possible to even get him, but we asked, and he said yes. And I mean, Christina also has been kind of a mentor to me. So his wife, if you guys don't know, she's amazing and one of the most influential female minds in the business, if you ask me. Minds in the business, period. Truthfully, she puts guys to shame all the time with some of the things she says and retorts to, guys thinking that she doesn't know anything. And the truth is she knows her history, guys. You know what I mean? Let's see. Besides the cards, you nutsack, 52 characters, and 3 decks. That's a crazy huge task and opens up the door to so many comic possibilities. Yeah, it does. Nutsack.
You know when you call Nutsack live that you guys are friends, because friends don't mess with friends like that.
Hey, I call him Dickfish. He loves it.
You might develop a nickname Nutsack now. Don't blame me. It's not me. Let's show some of this art, by the way.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, I've been called worse by family. So let's show some of this artwork.
So this right here is, speaking of Mr. Russ Cassidy, this is Anthony Romrell. who I met at Salt Lake City Comic Con, and Anthony Russ Cassidy colored over Anthony's lines here.
Nice.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
This right here.
A sneeze or a growl, I don't know, but we'll go with a sneeze.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. You know, I'm a very soft, sensitive guy, man. I might look like a 6'4", 280-pound Yeti who will rip you to shreds, but I'm a nice guy, I promise. These 3 decks right here, this shows all the artists that have been on the decks. Some of the ones we highlight from the first set are Marat Michaels.
Oh, you got Bob on there, nice.
Yep, Bob Camp, who created Ren and Stimpy, Ryan Kincaid, Cara Nicole. Yep, she helped us out. Sarah Frazetta made her first published work in that first card set. So, you guys know who Sarah Frazetta is. She's the Grand Master's granddaughter. So, her first published work is in that first set. And that second set, we had Nia Ruffino do the cover for that one. Chad Harden's in it too. And man, let me tell you what a hard decision that was to try to figure out who was going to be on the cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just tough, man, because you don't want to switch your story around because of how great the art is. Sometimes you have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we've got a ton of people that have helped us along the way, like Michael Mastermaker, who does Topps cards for Marvel and Star Wars. He's incredible. Like he's an MVP. This right here is the front of the card set. Sanju went back and redid the first box for the cover, and we replaced the boss card that I had originally done back in 2015, which I probably drew this thing in less than 10 minutes. Sanju came back and did just incredible art to replace it. This right here is Dan Fraga, who originally he didn't have to do this, but he sent me the original, which is insane. Yeah, so that's the original right there. I wanted to show it off, but he was really cool for doing that. It's going to be in the Hellbringers collection forever.
Nice.
This right here is Eldeso's card.
Adelso, good guy, great artist, excellent inker. He's inking some of my jams right now as we speak.
Yeah,
very cool.
Michael Mastermaker right here with Russ Cassidy.
Nice. And the colors look all right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Russ.
The colors look like nutsack is what they look like.
Yeah, I apologize. We're going to keep moving along a little because Chuck is supposed to be on. So.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, but I want to get through all the cards. So it just so everybody knows, Kris and Chuck. I don't know if you were watching, but this has been a cluster. You know what? From the start, Peter Palmiotti couldn't get on because of Wi-Fi. Things were switched around. So my apologies to you guys. Hang tight. You'll have a little more time than usual now because of this. Okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Mark.
Oh no, it's all right, man. This is Michael by Mastermaker as well, and Russ.
I don't know this Russ guy, man. I keep hearing about him, but
this is the Fomorians. This is Michael Mastermaker's artwork, but Becky Fuller colored this.
Okay.
Yeah, if you know that name.
She's been doing a great job. I know coloring, but she's been doing a great job with her coloring.
She's making her published debut in this, I believe. So that's fantastic. One of her cards right there. Yeah, and she's doing great, man. She's really inspired, I guess. You want to work with somebody that wants to learn. You don't want to work with somebody that thinks they're everything and they don't want to do what they tell you or you tell them to do. You know what I mean? But this girl, she does it, and she's ready to learn. She's ready to take over the industry anytime. So,
listen, humble people the person who thinks that they have nothing to learn has learned nothing. So, the more you know, the more you need to know. You got to keep learning and growing. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. That's my opinion. Not that it was asked for, but
that's absolute truth, man. This is Sarah Frazetta's third card, or excuse me, set 3 card.
Nice. Blackbeard.
This is Michael Mastermaker with Russ Cassidy on colors. Isaac Bell. Mr. Isaac Bell with Russ Cassidy on colors.
And that
funny
Russ guy's
story
just
about-
jumping on everything, isn't he? He's taking over everything.
Brett Okamura, all by himself.
Awesome. Yeah, Russ, you're doing a great job on the colors, man. Excellent job.
Brian Peterson.
And Joe Rubenstein, look at that. You could tell it's Joe right away.
Absolutely. Only original to that, too. Pretty proud to say that.
There's Fraga. Nice.
That's the colored version.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right. So, guys, this right here is a concept drawing from Mr. Corey Hamster for Dawn of the Devil. So this right
He's
here.
a great artist. I like Corey.
Yeah, man. He's a good guy. We're working together on a book right now. And we got a long way to go, but we're got a short time to get there. So this one right here is the concept art from one of the 3 characters he first drew for it, and you can see this character in the Sacred Heart as well.
Cool concept. I like it, and I have a couple of pieces hanging here from Corey. He did I don't do sketch covers. I don't really care for sketch covers. I always get crystal board, but Corey got me. I got 2 from him. I got a Nightcrawler. I got 3: a Nightcrawler, Firestorm, and Omega Red from him. I really like his art.
I love his Mega Reds. Like, one of my things I really get is a Wolverine and a Mega Red. So this is just
I love his face.
That's just an example of an 11 by 17 commission I've done live before in like 30 minutes.
Okay. Very cool. Are you open for commissions with everything you got going on?
You know, honestly, I am right now because I'm having to pay all these artists out of pocket. So if you guys are interested, I'm actually taking commissions right now. It's one of these, like, I usually don't do it. If you guys know, my commissions usually run about $250 to $650, and usually are in that middle of the $400 range. So if you are interested, let me know. I like doing portrait head sketches and commissions where I can do portraits and stuff like that, because I like drawing faces. You know,
you have to do that famous picture with feeding grapes and stuff, but have it be Russ laying there.
Dude, no, I'm trying to get people to buy it, man. I don't want to run them off for life.
Russ can color it. Well, look, Mark, thanks for coming on. Plug everything you want to plug before you go.
December 12th, Jengar and Shred, be ready. This is going to be one of the best books that ever hit the market, in my opinion. And I'm not saying it just because I'm biased. I'm not saying it for that. I have seen the artwork inside this. If you like dinosaurs, if you like hot girls, if you like, the story of Hellbringers, and you want to see where it's going, this is the book to pick up. We're going to have Joseph Michael Lisner on the cover, Rich Mock's doing a cover. I just did what everybody's telling me is the best cover that I've ever done. Please pick up the book, because this is a great story. We got an amazing bad guy that you don't even know about yet. When you think about great books, you think about great villains. It's got a great villain. So please check it out. Dawn of the Devil is going to come out in 2021. Go ahead, Philip.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh,
go ahead.
Dawn of the Devil, boom, 2021. That's going to be our next book. Keep an eye out. It's also going to be a prequel for the Sacred Heart. I'm going to give you the entire backstory and introduce our main character, which is the devil. So other than that, please back our card game. We usually get these out in front of people at conventions. We have no conventions to go to right now, so I can't get in front of anybody and talk about it besides this right here. So your support matters on this Kickstarter more than ever. So please do us a favor, back it if you can. So other than that, thanks everybody for putting up with us going a little bit over. And thanks for having me, Philip. And I hope all the fans out there, if I've made any new ones, don't call me Nutsack from now on because of Russ. But
by the way, Mark, the biggest plug, you're going to be back on my show on December 10th. I added you in right before the launch. You will have a full episode just for you. So if anybody wants to see anybody wants to see Mark, come out December 10th.
Yeah, I'll talk that whole 2 hours or whatever it is, man. He's gonna have to cut me off at midnight and be like, "Look, dude, I got kids. I gotta go."
Well, you know that Russ is going to be in there calling you NS. So,
Well, dude, we should have Russ do a special appearance in his fairy dress. I'm kidding. He really doesn't have one. And is this thing on?
Russ laying there being fed gracious. What the hell?
All right, man.
Yeah. Mark, man, I wish you success with the card game. Hello. Is there a delay? Are we okay? You got me?
Yeah, there's a little
All
delay. Last thing I heard was, "I wish you success with the card game." Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, we'll go spend time with your girlfriend before you're single again, all right?
Yeah, I'm surprised the star of the show here, my kid, is just she usually runs in here and says something. Violet, Violet, Violet. Let's just throw her on camera.
We're getting there, Chuck. We're getting there, Chuck.
Run in here. Say hi to everybody.
Chuck, give me a thumbs up. You're safe for now, man.
There she
Hi.
is.
How are you?
Good.
How old are you?
6.
6? I thought at least 14. Wow.
Say hi to the world.
I have a 6-year-old daughter too.
Really?
Is daddy cool that he draws comic books and stuff? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's quite the artist herself. So, you guys think I'm good? Wait till this girl takes over the world.
Nice. Awesome. I look forward to it. Just be a benevolent ruler. Bye. She's adorable.
out of here. She ran. Thanks.
She's
Yeah,
adorable.
like
God bless her, man. God bless.
I like her too. I haven't drowned her yet. So
I like her too. All right, Mark. Have a good one. I'll see you December 10th, man. Thanks.
thanks, you guys, and good luck to everybody with the shows coming up.
All right, good. All right, that was Mark May with Hellbringers. Go check out his Kickstarter right now for the card game. You saw all the amazing artists on there, all the amazing art. It's a fun game. You can play by yourself with others. You pledge, you play once, some free Friday nights after that, right? Without spending money and going out. So, anyway, moving forward, things are starting to smooth out after a rough start. But I'm going to be honest with you, Chuck. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your last name right. So if I pronounce it wrong, please forgive me and correct me when you come on. But we have an indie writer who's well known in the indie community, who's got a lot going on, and we're going to discuss it now. Thanks for being patient and waiting, because Mark is a chatty Cathy, but we like him anyway. Anyway, is it Chuck Pineau? And we have no sound. What is going on tonight?
Sorry, no, that was me. Pinot, like the wine.
Pinot. Oh, okay. Pinot.
Yeah.
Cool. I apologize. I've been saying it wrong.
No,
So
you're
how
all
the hell
good,
are you,
homie.
man? Thanks for being patient.
Oh, not a problem, man. I totally get it, man. These cons, they take a lot out of you, and it's not easy wrangling all of us creators. So I totally get it.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Wrangling artists and creators is like trying to wrangle like herding cats. So,
It totally is.
and then you add in some tech that is just not working with you today. Do you have headphones in?
I do.
There's a major delay going on. There's a major
I've
delay.
noticed that too. Yeah, I've noticed that too. I kind of noticed it a little bit with you guys too, but yeah, I don't know what's up.
You look like a Godzilla subtitle.
Sorry
All right, we're
about
gonna
that.
work through this. We're gonna work through this. I apologize if we talk over each other.
I'll wait.
Chuck is a superb book reviewer. All right.
Oh, thanks.
All right. You know what I'll do? I don't know. We're gonna try to like signal when we're done speaking.
Sounds good, man. I can totally do that. Bam.
All right. So let's get into it, Chuck. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you're doing, and let's get right into it. And I'm going to stay quiet so the delay doesn't mess us up.
Sounds good. Well, I mean, not you staying quiet, but anyways. Hey guys, what's going on?
Hilarious.
I'm Chuck Pineau. I'm a writer and editor, a freelance writer and editor. I've done all sorts of terrific books. I'm most well known for writing Welcome to the Void. Belial 2 just got off of Kickstarter, a very successful Kickstarter. It was a really good run we had there. And I also have an audio drama known as Essence House. And so right now, the two big projects that I'm pushing, Essence House is going from audio drama to novel. So currently we have Essence House on Kickstarter, trying to make that a novel. We funded, so we're on to our stretch goals. We're trying to get you guys some cool stickers, possibly some extra chapters, stuff like that. And then I also am lucky enough to be both editing and writing a story for the very cool anthology Cthulhu Invades Oz.
And look at that. My timing is impeccable.
You did good.
Listen, there's 4 days to go in this, and they've got a little bit more to reach their goal. So, guys, go check it out. Go back it. Get this guy over his goal. 4 days.
Very doable. I'm not worried, but it's we'll feel better once we've hit the 20K mark. Everyone will get paid, and then we can move on.
Everyone will get paid. So, tell us more, without spoilers, about the book.
You know, Cthulhu Invades Oz, first off, it's very easy to explain. Cthulhu Invades Oz. Like, it's all there. If you know either of the properties, it's easy enough. But this is different from any other anthology you've probably seen before, because usually when it's an anthology, you know, they'll give you a theme or a general idea. Everyone will write some kind of story. You're accepted or you're not. You throw it in there. Bada bing, bada boom. It's done. Move on. This isn't like that. For this one, what's really cool is it's one narrative. And so everybody got to pick one character. And we get to basically spotlight that character sometime within the invasion, between the beginning and the end of the invasion. We get to see how they're affected and all that kind of stuff. It's very cool. It's not like anything I've ever seen before, and it's a story. It's a singular narrative. So I think that was a lot of work for us editors, but I think everybody had a really, really good time with it, and we've got an amazing book for you guys.
That's cool. So, I mean, as an editor, how is it? I mean, people don't realize how much goes into editing. You don't just look at, grammatical errors or things like that. You have to check that the backgrounds make sense and flow properly from panel to panel. You have to make sure there's consistency in the scenes that are going on, that it's a smooth flowing storytelling. People don't realize how much goes into editing. So, I mean, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it really depends on what you're doing, right? Like, how does the lettering look? Luckily, in this one, we only had one letterer, and he did all the stories, so that certainly helped out an awful lot. Sorry. Also, like things like the coloring. In this one, you had to make sure that everyone looked the same. So at one point, we actually had Dorothy ended up having 2 different color hair, because in one story she was given brown hair, and then later on, I think she was given blonde, and we were like, wait. That's Dorothy? Yeah. No, you got to change that up, homie. Like, that's not. So,
you must have had Russ coloring. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that nutsack? Jeez.
Yeah. That's awesome. And just looking at the tiers here, again, low tiers. They're not expensive. You guys can get quality stuff, and you're not laying out a lot of money, especially during hard times. And it doesn't take much, to just go pledge.
Yeah, it's a 150-page book, so you're really going to get something nice out of it. And what's cool is that, like, it is a nice, trade, like the softcover paperback style book, but we also have hardcovers. We have all sorts of stuff. We even have an amazing tier. It's expensive, but we have a $1,000 tier, and for that you get all the goodies, but then you also get your choice of several of the amazing creators that are on the book, and those creators will all come together and create for you your story, your book. We will do a 4-page story for you, and you get to choose which creators which writer you want, which letterer you want, which colorist, penciler, all the way down, even editor. And you get a whole team that will come in and make a story just for yours. And what's neat about that is it's like anybody could do that, but then you also get to attach those names to your project. And not to toot our own horns, but there's some really good names in there. So those names are a draw, especially on something like Kickstarter, where most of us have been on the platform an awful lot.
Sure. And it's different. You don't see tiers like that. That's pretty cool. I love when people think outside the box.
Thanks, man.
If you can be original with a tier, imagine how original the story is.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And I'm great that we caught up, because I was just about to say Godzilla's attacking, because we would see this. And then there would be dialogue after. So I was waiting for the Godzilla's attack.
No, it's much better now.
So besides this, what else you got going on, my friend?
The other one is Essence House. That's our audio drama.
Yeah.
What's neat about that one is that was initially a failure of sorts. Have you ever heard of NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month?
Now I have.
Okay, well, November is actually National Novel Writing Month. And what happens is that they make it out so that every single day you write a certain amount, and by the end of it, you'll have a 50,000 page or a 50,000 word story, which is which is a normal novel. And so we decided, hey, you know what? Like, why don't we try to do that? Did not work. That was back in 2018. We were too busy. And so Eric Cockrell, my partner, came back to me. He had this cool idea for a time travel story. Came back to me in 2019, said, want to try it again? I said, hell no. We're even more busy this year than we were last year. Like, that's a terrible idea. And so we thought about it, and what if we turned it into episodes? And we were able to do one chapter at a time and release it somehow. And that turned into, what if we did it like one of the old, like 1930s or 40s radio dramas? And so that's what this is initially, it's a radio drama. We're just about to finish season 2. So episode 18 just dropped 2 days ago. And all of those episodes turn into chapters for the new novel. Now, the novel will be slightly different because, of course, we now get the chance of being unhampered by our 20-minute time slot. And we get to increase those chapters, work on them, flesh them out, edit them, add on to them, all that kind of stuff. But it's out of 20 chapters. So by the end of season 2, you'll have the whole story, which means, if you guys really think about it, if you're on the fence and you're like, I don't know if I would like this or not, you literally can go to any of the podcasting sites, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, any of those. Go there, look up Essence House, and you can listen to the first 18 chapters for free. If you don't like it by that point, well, we appreciate you listening.
Look at that picture. Aren't you pro? Look at you, pro with a little bit of edginess and like cool with the hat backwards. Man, you got it going on. That's cool, man. You want to talk about the tiers?
You know what's hilarious about that picture?
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, this one's a lot simpler. Well, what's funny about the picture is, yeah, we are. That picture was actually taken at Thanksgiving. My sister-in-law was showing off one of her like Instagram filters or whatever, and she's like, yeah, it does this cool thing where it's all black and white with a black background. And I'm like, take one of me. And she did that, and I was like, that's badass. That's like my author photo. So I've just kept it and used it ever since.
Oh, it's good. Nice. You're thinking. You're like the thinker there. You're contemplating. Very intelligent.
That's it.
But edgy. Yes. Love it. So this is the team. We're just going through the team.
Yep.
Cool. Now,
did
you want to discuss the tiers at all?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what? We have, you can actually get all of the audio. So you can get an MP3 of the audio. You can get an ebook of it. If you prefer digital, you want to get it for your Kindle. And then, of course, we have the soft cover. You can get an enamel pin along with it, or you can also get the hardcover. Nice. So you can, yeah, dude, I'm so excited to own a hardcover of this thing. Holy crap.
And it says estimated fulfillment will be delivered in March. So it's not far off, man. Months go fast. This will end soon, and then it'll be out, and everything. And you funded, right? So let's see. Scroll back up, please. There we go. So you funded. You got 80 backers with 9 days to go. So fantastic! Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I think it's a wonderful idea. Now,
thanks. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we're really happy.
You've been involved in other projects as well. Do you want to talk about some past projects, and can we get those past projects, or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, holy crap. I've been a part of so many projects.
I know, that's why I'm bringing it up. Tell us about some of it.
Thank you, homie. You know what? What was it? Ungodly Champion came off Kickstarter not too long ago. Freak Show Night is one for Second Sight.
I had Jonathan on the show, and his books, man, solid. I want to pick up
Recount.
Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Yeah, I read his Ashcan, but I want the book.
Yeah, no, he's good, man. He was good to work with. Very excited to work with him on this one. It's done. Second Sight, I think, is bringing it to stores in February. It's actually about to go into previews. Nice. So that's really badass. What was it? Crusade of Dracula by Joseph Dewis just got off of Kickstarter. What's the other one? I got a kid's book that I helped co-create and edit for Scoot, which is Scout's kid. Their kid books. Yeah. And it's called Cat Dad and Supermom by Bobby Gregory and Raheel Mohsen. Really good book.
Cool. Yeah. So look, everybody, please go back the Kickstarters, and follow Chuck on Instagram and Facebook. And you too can find out how to get that filter and take a meaningful, really thought-provoking picture. And he's good at teaching you how to do Japanese subtitles or whatever for Godzilla movies. That works out. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I've never met you in person. I follow you on Facebook. We haven't interacted really much, but I've been following you. I know that's why I knew a lot of what you did. I didn't even have to look up a lot in regards to you, but you're a good main staple in the indie scene, and I wish you continued success. And you're of course always welcome back on the show. Shoot, just for fun, I might pull you, Mark, and Russ on a panel and a few guys someday, just so we can all laugh and joke and tell Mark to be quiet.
I would love that. Thank you so much, Philip. You're a great dude yourself. I've only heard good things, so thank you so much. I appreciate being on, man.
Man, the money is working. You pay the right people, it works. Yes. Just don't ask my wife, because you're going to get a totally different recommendation.
Well, hey, I won't ask yours if you don't ask mine, so we're all good, homie.
You know what's the best about doing these multi-guest shows? I see them all backstage. I get to see what they're doing when they're bored and on their phone, if they're picking their nose, if they're doing, serious stuff. I get to see all of them.
It's fun, isn't it?
And yeah, I shouldn't have let them know, though, because sometimes you get to see people doing some really stupid stuff. Now they're all on their best behavior. They're all sitting up, and I'm just kidding.
Like smoothed out their hair. And like...
Yeah. Chuck, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I wish you continued success, and you're of course welcome on any other time.
Thank you so much, big guy. Take care of yourselves. I really appreciate you guys having me on. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, and I appreciate everybody who's been patient. So be good, Chuck.
See ya.
All right. So, man, we're just flowing through the guests here despite the rough start. So I appreciate that. Great people on here, man. That's one of the great things about doing this. Not only do you get to learn about great projects, we get to meet great people and connect. And that's the fun part about this industry and, the passion we share. our next guests are co-hosts of their own show, which I think is fantastic because we definitely need more shows of people talking comics and really just bringing us all together. And it's important to me. And they're co-hosts of the Nerd Byword. It's Kris, Markl, and David Allen. I hope I pronounced names right. If I didn't, just yell at me when you come on. Cool, I got a thumbs up. I got something right today. So anyway, without further ado, Kris and Dave or David, I don't know what you prefer. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for being patient and waiting. I don't know if you followed, like I said, unfortunately, tech has really crapped the bed on us today. So it's been a little slow. We're going over a little bit to try to compensate and take care of everybody. So we'll give you, made up time, of course. I finally get to meet you both. Kris, you and I have talked on Facebook, but we never really got to meet. So hello, How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So Kris, tell us about yourselves, and then we'll get into your podcast and everything else that's going on.
Yeah, so we're both public school educators, and then we have a passion for comic books, and it was kind of born of this common love for everything that was nerdy, and we would meet up in the hallways after school, and we would be like, hey, did you see this episode of The Flash? Or hey, did you watch this movie yet? And then, the pandemic hit, and one of the good things, one of the silver linings of the pandemic was, you're sitting at home and you have all this time, and we wanted to make something positive of it. So, we just hit the 6-month mark on our show, and we just recorded our thank you, just recorded our 6-month episode, and we wanted to do something positive of it. So, it's just really fun and be able to create a positive environment of nerdy fandoms. A lot of stuff online is, back and forth vitriol, and we just wanted to, create an environment where, the basic premise for our show is almost like the PC and Mac, commercials back from the early 2000s. He's the DC guy, I'm the Marvel guy. And we can still be friends, and we can still agree to disagree, and we can get along, and it's not this back and forth like awful stuff. So
I'm going to start some controversy here because it's real simple. Superman or the Hulk, who wins?
Superman every time.
Yeah, I'd go with Superman. He's converted.
All right.
He's converted.
He's converted. Oh, see, you're saying you're Marvel. Come on, you got to. So, yeah, well, it's funny. I go back and forth on that because Superman and Hulk are two of my favorite characters. Superman, because of his altruism, his nobility, his humility, all the things that I would aspire to be. Yeah. But I'm an Irishman with a hot temper. So I relate to the Hulk because too often I turn green and Hulk smash. So,
you're wearing an X-Men shirt. So that's all I need to see.
Oh, man, Nightcrawler is my character. That's
Nightcrawler
my favorite. Colossus. Those are my favorites.
That's my all-time favorite.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah. I picked up Uncanny X-Men 115 and 126 were my first 2 issues off a spinner rack.
Yeah.
At 9 years old, and I was in love. I was like, this is incredible. A blue demon, a guy with these metal claws, big metal giant. What the hell? It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, Dave, tell us, how about you? What got you, what was your inspiration to start this and you and Kris get this going?
Well, for me, I just always have been a big fan of superheroes in general. Chris Reeve's Superman, Batman the Animated Series kind of was my gateway into that world. One day I spotted a tie-in comic to Batman the Animated Series in a grocery store in a spinner rack, and that kind of that was the end of it for me. I was hooked. First comic book I ever laid my hands on. So, once I met Kris and we'd constantly had that back and forth just talking about comic books and comic book based movies and nerdy media in general, we just really enjoyed those conversations so much. I was just bored to tears during quarantine. I was like, well, why don't we just take this onto the internet and just start having these conversations for other people to listen to? And it's been a blast. So
now, is it a live show or is it recorded?
Oh, we record.
We record.
We've not tried to do live yet, although I think that's going to be on the menu in the future.
I would recommend it because getting fan reaction is so much fun. Hey, Russell, what's going on? I watched your show earlier. Fan reaction is a lot of fun. I don't know if you've caught some of the shows, but I've even done a few where we're just sitting down talking, like you do, just enjoying the industry. And when people jump in and start talking, it's fun. It's fun. And then if they say something you don't like, you're the host. Click them out. No, I'm just kidding. So you guys start this podcast, and you're passionate about topics. Like you just recently did the worst comic stories, and the worst I've ever read you had on there with the Blob in the Ultimate World eating the wasp. And I think he killed Kitty Pryde. I forgot, but it was just horrible. It was the most wretched thing I ever read, and it actually made me say I'm done with the Ultimate Universe, to be honest with you. So tell us some of the stuff you talk about and where we can go see you and everything. Or hear you, I should say.
Yeah, so we're on all major podcasting platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on iHeartRadio, and we also have audio episodes on YouTube. It's just a back and forth, throwing ideas back and forth. Hey, what do you think about this idea for an episode? And that particular episode actually spun off of something that we encountered in a mailbag episode where a friend of mine was like, if you had to be on a deserted island and you could only read Sins Past and, the Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy arc where they have a relationship. Oh, but
it's been all night, man. So go ahead.
So yeah, it was based on a mailbag. There he is. A mailbag episode where it was like, if you could only read Sins Past, that's the only comic you could read. Would you give up comics forever? And we both definitely decided to give up comics forever. And then it naturally transitioned into the very next episode of the worst comics we've ever read.
And when does your show air so people know when to look for it?
Yeah, we air every Monday. Usually our episodes go live at 5 a.m., so it's the first thing you can listen to when you get up out of bed in the morning. That's
cool. You ride to work if you're going to work, or if you're working from home, put it on while you're doing your thing. I love that. That's awesome. And let's put the I'm going to put the link in while you guys are talking. So what do you have coming up? Topics and stuff.
Well, like I said, we actually just finished recording our 6-month episode. We also have several. We've been very, very fortunate to make connections on social media with comic creators. We have some fantastic interviews that we had with comic book writers and artists. We've had Luciano Vecchio on the show. We've had Paul Jenkins on the show.
Oh, nice.
Who was just amazing for me as a Spider-Man fan. His run on Spider-Man was just seminal for me. We also, this is the first time we're teasing it, so you're turning in. We just recorded an interview with Ed Brisson, who is doing his own Kickstarter. Just finished up, the New Mutants for the Dawn of X title, which is a huge, huge initiative. That'll be airing next week, so be sure to stick around for that.
Excellent. So on Mondays, and I just put the link in the chat for you. Of course, you're welcome to, if there's a shorter link, you can put it in there because that's what I copied from what you sent me.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to have to reach out to you both to show me how to edit this because I'm going to try to edit the segments so that you all get your own, short viewing so people can specifically go to who they want to see instead of sitting through 2.5 hours. So I'm going to have to find that out from you guys. I mean, I think I can do it on YouTube, even if it's live, right? Because we're live right now,
absolutely.
But I think you can go back and. So I'm gonna have to pick your brains on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So who's the Abbott and who's the Costello? There's always the straight, the straight man, and the, what I'm saying. You know how you guys, co-hosts always play off each other. So who's who?
I know, Kris. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting. We just talked about for our 6-month episode. We just talked about. How our relationship has really grown, from like a casual work friend from work relationship to, working with somebody week in and week out and creating something together. You have, I think, J.K. Rowling says in the first Harry Potter book, there's some things that you go through together that you can't help but just be close friends with,
Sure.
and killing a mountain troll is one of those things. And, creating 6 months of podcast episodes is one of those things as well.
And it builds chemistry, which is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So we, in celebration of that for 6 months of the Nerd Byword, we wanted to look at our favorite friendships in nerddom. So, and one of the ones that I really love to look at is Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, and how one of them is logic based, and
Right.
everything is, and that's Dave. He's Mr. Spock.
Yep.
He's logic. He is. I have 8 pages of notes, and I'm very much, Jim Kirk, firing from the hip, swashbuckler, all leading with passion. And I have, maybe 3 bullet points or a couple of browser tabs open, and, I'm just improvising the entire episode, and it, probably drives him crazy, but, that's it's how we work.
I think it totally works. I don't think I'm ever ready to really talk about any topic unless I've had extensive research and I know exactly the points I'm gonna make. So yeah, 8 pages of notes for an episode is pretty much standard for me.
But that balance is great, though. I mean, you keep each other in check, you support each other when you do that, and it builds great chemistry. Because, I mean, if you look at every great duo, there is the serious, more serious and, logic-based, and then there's the more frivolous, and I think that works well. I'm personally fly by the seat of your pants, if you hadn't noticed. I don't do well with the structure. Like, a little guideline is fine, but let it ride. And that's why I like the live. Look, we all try to pretend we're perfect with editing, but sometimes the fun is screwing up. I mean, I had an episode where my cat came out, and busted through the door and shut my mic off and then shut off my camera. And I had Keith Williams on the show, and thank God Keith is a friend. He's like, I guess I'm hosting now, because I just went blank. I just went dead lives. And it's just funny, and it's just things you talk about, and you don't get embarrassed about it. You laugh, you grow, we're all human. So I think it's fantastic what you're doing. I think it's great that you're getting awesome guests. Monday sounds exciting for Brisson to be on. So what are your plans and your goals for the future? I mean, like, some shows do segments, at the end, or come up with, like when you watch Conan O'Brien, whatever, they always have their kind of skit segments and stuff. Are you ever looking into doing stuff like that, or is it just straight up let it fly, let's talk?
Well, we do have certain segments we do every time. We always, start out with the news. We have our big talk segment, which is the bulk of the episode, and then we always end with our nerd commendations, the things that we are really enjoying right now and that we recommend for other nerds to experience as well. But we're always looking to mix it up. For the month of October, we decided to take the big old chicken that is Kris over there and expose him to some scary movies for the first time, since he's not a big horror fan. So we went through some of the perennial classics, Night of the Living Dead, the first Halloween, the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
The Thing. You got to do The Thing, the remake, the John Carpenter remake, The Thing.
That might be something for our next
you have to
month of October, yeah. But taking him through this journey of like all these different horror movies he's never seen was a lot of fun. His reactions were priceless.
Really?
I'm still
those reactions.
I'm still pissed off that Ben died at the end of the Night of the Living Dead. Like, the dude.
Spoiler! No, I'm just kidding.
Right? It's been out for 50 years. But yeah, so yeah. So I was super frustrated by that.
But that was the whole point. It was showing you who the real monsters were. It was showing you
exactly
who the real problem was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to see it through a new lens. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ben was, operating at maximum capacity that whole movie. So to see him get mowed down at the end, I think Kris was about to pull out his hair when he was talking about it.
But you know what? That passion is awesome. It carries through the show. It carries through all the things that, really, people really gravitate to that, because that passion shows that you're doing this for the right reason. and that attracts people. I really believe that. That
Okay.
absolutely attracts people. I'm trying to find something here for you. Here we go. Okay. So, who's the guest that you'd both love to have on the show? That's like your ultimate holy grail.
For me, probably Grant Morrison. Their work has meant a lot to me over the years, particularly JLA. That book really was a sort of a gateway drug for me to get into the larger DC universe. Grant's writing is totally bonkers. I say that all the time. It's so imaginative in the best possible way. Even his writing, even when his writing misfires, at least it's interesting. But when it clicks, it is so good. I could pick the brain for hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, it would have to be Jonathan Hickman. I'm a massive Jonathan Hickman fan. The world building that he does in such intricate detail, what he's doing with the X-Men right now, and just completely turning it on its head is just really awesome. And I previously did the Marvel Hickman run with his Fantastic Four and his Avengers, and it's just really, really detail oriented, and just to be able to pick his brain on even just like what's the creative process for you? How do you go about creating something that large scale and yet so intricate is super fascinating to me.
And it's funny because I see those two writers as being similar in their cerebral and in what they write, and very intricate. And I think Morrison more than Hickman, though. The thing for me with Morrison is he writes as if you know what he's thinking, and he writes as if you know what happened between issues.
Yes.
So sometimes
he
throws me off a bit. But I can see
and he's gotten more like that, I think, over the years. When you go to some of his earlier DC work, particularly, JLA, I can't speak highly enough of that. As crazy as that gets, I think it's a little clearer than something like Final Crisis was. I think Final Crisis was much denser and much more difficult to understand. Yeah, I had trouble with that one too.
Again, I think he wrote it like he was supposed to know what happened between panels, between issues, as if you were reading his mind. It confused the holy hell out of me.
Now you also hit one of our holy grails in Kevin Eastman. We're both huge Turtle fans, and seeing him on your show was just awesome for me. I was just awestruck.
Well, I'm never a content individual, so I'm hoping to get him in a live situation so fans like you can interact with him. Unfortunately, he was very busy. He could only grant me 15 minutes. If you watch the video, he looked like he wanted to stay on, but I'm not going to say who, but they were like, no, you got to go. He gave us a lot in the 15 minutes. I thought it was very kind of him because he really got into it. He gave you a lot in such a short time, which I was concerned if we would get any content,
Well, if that brings us new issues of The Last Ronin and the current TMNT series, then that's okay, because that stuff is some of the best stuff that's on the shelves right now.
Absolutely.
And he really is just a genuinely really nice guy, and he's a fan like we are. So he's really cool.
Yep.
Really nice. So before we get into Dave's writing, you're a big DC fan. What is your take on what's going on with DC right now?
Yeah, I find it extremely depressing. As a lifelong DC fan, it troubles me. I mean, so many longtime employees are losing their jobs. I feel like their experience is going to be sorely missed at the company. But I think it speaks to a larger problem. AT&T is basically coming in there with this very corporate mentality of downsizing a creative endeavor for short-term money saving, when the smart thing to do, especially considering, the movie business and everything, and how many, billion-dollar movies are based on comic books, is to invest in the publishing branch to grow that part of the business. And then, for lack of a better term, exploit it through movies. Which is something that they've not quite figured out how to do yet, if you're looking at, the quality of DC's output. Now, there's been improvements. Aquaman was quite good, Wonder Woman. But if you're looking like their flagship characters in Batman and Superman, most recently, that stuff's not been very good. So if they can figure out how to grow the publishing arm and then exploit those new story ideas, then they grow a business rather than downsizing it to save money in the short term. So I'm very worried about that corporate mentality kind of coming down on the publishing side.
Do you think Zack Snyder's HBO Max next year is going to be detrimental in how AT&T looks at the potential in the property?
I honestly think that Zack Snyder's Justice League Director's Cut, a mini-series, whatever you want to call it, is probably going to be detrimental to my sanity. Every time Zack opens his mouth, he says something that just absolutely gets under my skin. We were just talking about how he said in an interview very recently that his ideal Justice League movie would be black and white. And I'm like, have you read a comic book? Like, the whole point of these characters is that they're larger than life, they're colorful, and you think the best Justice League movie you can do is black and white? Yeah, I think that guy's going to give me a heart attack before this is over.
What about you, Kris? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, and Zack Snyder, we probably usually spend 8 to 10 minutes on a nerd news segment. The Snyder cut alone has like hijacked our show because it's so. And the main point that I have as a casual DC fan, mostly Marvel fanboy, is that for him it's always a moving target. Like, I think he's covering his arse most of the time, because if you don't like it, well, my ideal version was a black and white IMAX. Well, I had a theatrical release. Well, I had this, and it's always something else. And the simple fact that you have an Academy Award-winning performance from Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, and his decision is to go with the Jared Leto version of the Joker because that hits his vision. I think that says it all in a nutshell.
The grill, man. It's the grill. It's all in the grill.
I don't even.
So
I can't even.
Why Marvel over DC, Kris?
For me, it's just what I was exposed to. The one DC exposure that I had growing up was Batman in the animated series. So Batman, is near and dear to my heart. But by and large, growing up as a kid in the 90s, it was the X-Men, the animated series. It was Spider-Man, the animated series. That rockin' theme from Aerosmith guitarist.
I'm showing my kids those now.
Yeah, but and then just staying with that company, as I grew up in my formative years, particularly Peter Parker. A lot of people get their moral code from religion or faith, the Bible or the Quran. I get my moral code from Benjamin Parker and Peter Parker.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, with great power there must also come great responsibility. And I just continue to be a fan of what they put out. By and large, I'm not a shill. I'm as much as I love Marvel, I'm also, when you love something, you also criticize it.
Sure.
So,
well, if you're objective, yeah.
Yeah. So
which is good as a podcaster to be objective.
Yeah, so like, for example, I love Dan Slott's Spider-Man, but also what he did to Ben Reilly in the Clone Conspiracy. That's just not good. Like, don't do that to Ben Reilly. Man, come on. We love Ben Reilly. Why would you make him the bad guy?
By the way, just a few things before we ask Dave. RLJ3 Visions, 100% agree with you, Dave.
Fantastic.
He said if they put Baby Yoda in, I would watch this JLA. So, we know why Marvel. Now, Dave, why DC?
It's actually a very similar story. It's sort of the first thing I was exposed to. My father was an incredibly big fan of Chris Reeve's Superman, and so that was one of the first things I was exposed to as a child, superhero wise. And just like Chris gets his moral code from Peter Parker, I think a lot of mine comes from Superman. I find
Jonathan and
Martha,
what's her name? Kent, exactly, and Martha Kent, yes.
So to me, and we've had this discussion on our show before too. So many people talk about how Superman is not a relatable character because he's so powerful. I think I do too. I mean, when you strip the powers away, he's one of the most relatable guys. He's just a average guy from a small town. He's trying to do right by people. I always very I always related to the fact that he was writing. He was interested in journalism. I was too growing up. And so I find him to be incredibly relatable. And so Superman was sort of my gateway. From Superman, I got to Batman, the animated series. And then, hey, well, these two characters exist in the same universe. I want to know more about that universe. But it was kind of the first thing I was exposed to, really.
For me, Superman isn't super because of his power set. It's actually the opposite. Imagine any one of us had that ability to be a god. No one can control you. No one can stop you. You have nothing to fear. The only thing you have is a conscience, is a sense of morality. That's all that stands between you and what you could do with those powers. Imagine every time we lose our temper and we slam a table with our fist that you have his strength and you slam a table, or you hit somebody, or you scream at somebody, or you flip a car because you're angry. And this person, his character obviously is fictional, but is the greatest part of all of us that we aspire to be. He is
exactly.
He is what you want to be. I mean, imagine, I don't think I'd, as moral as I try to be with my temper, if I had those abilities, someone would have been burned to a crisp, because there's some assholes out there. Someone's at least getting a shot in the ass with some laser vision. You know what I'm saying? Running around. Woo! So I think people misunderstand the character and where his strength comes from. And as far as writing, he may be physically superior, but there's so much other great stuff you can do for adversaries for him that I think they dropped the ball, because they think everybody has to be dumbed down to. He has to have a character just as big and strong, and we beat up and blow up buildings. That's the whole reason why Lex Luthor has stood the test of time. It's his intellect and his hatred for everything that Superman stands for. So Lex Luthor is the part of us that we try to keep at bay, and Superman is the part of us that we try to aspire to. That's how I see it.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
So tell us about your writing, Dave.
I've always done some writing on the side, going back to high school and college, student newspapers and stuff. I had a strong interest in journalism. And once I got away from that, I just started dabbling really for years. I never gave it my full attention. I published some short stories. I published some poetry. I got to co-write a comic book miniseries back in 2008. But after that, just everything that I touched seemed to kind of fall apart, project after project. So I just kind of focused on my teaching career for a few years. Right now, I'm just starting to get back in the swing of things. I've really missed writing, and I feel like it's a big part of who I am that I've kind of neglected. So I'm really focused right now on nonfiction work. I review books, I review comics, I write commentary pieces about pop culture, I interview authors and actors. That's sort of my focus right now, and just kind of building up my skills and sharpening those skills again.
And why do you write? Because you enjoy it, right?
Well, yeah, I feel like I have something to say.
Well, the success is in the enjoyment you get out of it. The rest is just icing on the cake eventually.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, is there any plans in the future for the two of you to work on a book? Maybe get your own characters developed and a story going, and maybe go the crowdfunding way like everybody else?
We've not talked about it, but I wouldn't put it past us.
Hey,
I'm planting a seed.
I just know that we need. I can't speak for you, Dave, but I know that we would need a talented artist. So
yeah. Yeah, absolutely, because I don't think either one of us is very good at the art.
Well, I know plenty of artists, so you can always reach out to me if you ever do. But, think about it. It'd be fun for you guys to get your juices flowing and create together. You could do the writing. Kris can obviously help with concept and coming up with, based on your knowledge and your fandom, you could come up with a great character that everybody can relate to.
That sounds like a fun project.
Do it. Look at this. I'm the brainchild. I'm planting seeds.
The puppet master.
Yeah.
And nerds.
Yeah, I'm not the puppet master from Fantastic Four, though. That's like one of the lamest. I beat you with my clay puppets. Actually, if you think about it, maybe he'd be the most powerful ever. Imagine he could just make a clay puppet of Dr. Manhattan. You're all done.
Yep.
Yeah. Steve Garcia has a question. As educators, do you find ways to push comics into your educator roles? Good question.
Kris, you want to start with that one?
Yeah. So I actually
put it back up.
Yeah, so actually, I did a club. A lot of times, as teachers, we'll have clubs based on our interests. So I actually had the Excelsior squad, at our school, and it was for any kids who were interested, in nerd-based stuff. And it was, born out of a lot of conversations that I had with kids, similar to what I spoke about earlier with Dave and myself. Is kids were like, hey, have you seen? Did you see Captain America: Civil War yet? Did you see the Avengers yet? Did you see this yet? And I was like, you know what? Let's carve out some time after school where we just talk about all the things that we love, And then when I talked about my moral code with Peter Parker, when something is that ingrained in you, for me as Spider-Man or the X-Men is, and for Dave for Superman, I feel like it would be a violation of who you are at your core if it didn't pop up, in your day-to-day life. So definitely comes across. And my classroom is decorated much like, my room down here, my study,
Cool.
my podcast studio is. And
I would have loved to have teachers like that.
Yeah. We just got done talking about, I got my nerd commendation. My most recent nerd commendation was the Django Zorro crossover from Dynamite and Vertigo from a couple of years back. And Zorro was one of the most formative, characters for me growing up. I saw The Mask of Zorro as a kid in the 90s, and I loved it so much that I learned the Spanish language and made a career out of it. So, I have a 6-foot cardboard cutout of Antonio Banderas in my classroom.
Nice.
Because I am an unabashed nerd of so many different things.
Bring out the foil. No talking in class. No.
Now, I do teach history, so one of the ways that I try to kind of connect, comics and comic book properties is, there are a lot of characters that live sort of on the intersection between history and fiction. So, I want to talk about Greek history. I have a Wonder Woman poster in my classroom. Captain America is a wonderful gateway into talking about World War II.
Awesome.
So there are several intersection points there where I can bring up those characters as a way of getting kids interested in talking about history as well.
I think those are awesome tools. Great question, Steve. Awesome tools to get kids to want to enjoy learning. Absolutely. And not just enjoy learning, but when you can use those as connections, it helps their memory. It helps them remember what they were taught, because you connect it. There was a study that was done. If you study for a test and there's a certain song on during a specific subject matter of the test, the next day when you're taking the test and you get the question that pertains to that section you were studying, that song will pop in your head.
Yep.
It pops in your head. So it's a similar thing there with association where, you see Captain America. I mean, shoot, they might even see Captain America one day and remember that one thing that you from class that you taught them. So that's pretty cool. So before we go, thank you for coming on. Thanks for being patient.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Again, plug everything we need to know, where to find it, everything. Go for it.
Yeah, so you can find us on, like I said, every major podcasting platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon. You can find us at the Nerd Byword Podcast. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Nerd Byword. You can see it on my moniker here. You can also find us individually on Instagram and Twitter at That Nerd Dave and That Nerd Kris.
Awesome.
And as far as the writing goes, my primary outlet right now is a website called The Nerd Daily. That's where you can find that
up. I'm gonna put that website up.
Yeah, so that's where you can find most of the articles I'm pushing right now.
And again, remind us why we want to tune in Monday.
Well, it helps you get through the Mondays. That's
yeah.
Nothing else.
Who likes Mondays, right?
Right. Yeah. So, like we talk about like the most prescient, nerd news that's happening. We have, pretty, interesting byword big talks, and then nerd commendations that, comic books that we're reading that you should definitely check out. What to look for on New Comic Book Day, coming up on Wednesday. shows that we've been binging that may have. I think the thing that I really appreciate about Dave's idea for the Nerd Accommodations is stuff that flies under the radar, and lesser known titles or shows that people may have missed out on. We all love The Mandalorian, but like at the same time, Farscape is sitting over there on Prime Video waiting for you to watch it as well.
Nice. And you have guests. Who's your next upcoming big guest?
Well, yeah, Ed Brisson. Ed Brisson is coming next week. So the 6-month anniversary, we called it the BFF episode, the Nerd BFF episode. We'll be launching Monday that we just recorded, and then our interview with Ed Brisson about his career at Marvel, and then also he's launching a Kickstarter as well called Catch and Release, a murder book story. And this is crazy. This is the first Kickstarter that I've seen that has a hardcover as like the first reward tier after the digital. So you're getting a hardcover for $20. You get a hardcover from Ed Brisson. So that was pretty cool. And I'm a big crime junkie. I love detective stories. So being able to pick his brain. And it was really interesting interviewing him too. A lot of people we come on, well, I watched this show, or I read these books when I came in, and he was like, I have personal experience. It wasn't so much a show that I watched. He basically said that he was a butthole as a teenager. And so it was a very, very unique answer.
He was very real in the interview. Really, really cool guy.
That is cool. Go ahead.
I think the quote of the episode for me, though, we talked about, he's written a lot on Old Man Logan and Dead Man Logan. And we talked about why is Wolverine such a prescient character, after all these years, and he's like, well, for me as a Canadian guy, it was really cool writing. But when he came on with an Australian accent back in the day, we were flipping tables up in Canada. And as the stereotype goes with Canadians, for the Canadians to be flipping tables, that must have been, very, very upsetting.
That's cool. That sounds like it's gonna be a fun interview. How early in advance do you record your shows?
We usually go, a couple of days, and then we are very much like a seamless team. I'm social media guy, and Dave is our behind the scenes editor. He does all the editing. I feel a little bit guilty that like I just show up and record, and then he goes through all the editing and does all this stuff. So, but I primarily run our Twitter and Instagram pages, and Facebook as well. And then he handles all the grunt work of behind the scenes and editing and all that stuff. So we usually record an episode a couple of days ahead before release. But sometimes, like this week, the Ed Brisson interview kind of fell into our laps. And yes, sir, we would love to interview you tomorrow. And then, that one, we're just holding on to until next week.
That's cool. Well, look, thank you both for coming out. I put the link to Dave to where your writing and your editorial work and everything is there. So, and everybody, the link to their YouTube is there. Please, Nerd by Word, go check it out. Again, it's out every Monday at 5 a.m. So you got it for your ride to work or whatever. Gets your day going. Get up, get your coffee, whatever. Don't pick up a paper. Go listen to Nerd by Word.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm great finally meeting you face to face, Kris. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dave.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming on, and I'm happy to share anytime. And when Ed Brisson airs too, share it to my page. You're not intruding at all. It's not rude. I'm inviting you to do so. So,
all right, for sure.
Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you both for coming on. Have a great night and continued success.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much, Phil.
All right, take care.
Thank you too.
So that is Nerd by Word. That was Kris and Dave. It was great having them on. I love to see that. Sometimes we forget these podcasts are very important. These are the people that are continually bringing you the news, continually drumming up excitement, and continually doing all the things that create the passion in the industry that we really want to enjoy and be a part of. And I think that's awesome. So thank you to them for coming out. And I have to say, considering how rough the day started, it's smoothed out a bit. We have one more guest tonight. He was backstage, and his camera is off, and I have no idea where he is because he's supposed to be on. But it's William Wolford. There he is. All right. William Wolford is an inker, and he's an aspiring colorist. He's currently learning and working on being a colorist. I have known William for, I think, about 2 years now via Facebook. I've never spoken to him face-to-face, so this is going to be really cool. He's a great guy. He's done some ink work for me. We're going to show you a lot of what he does, talk about commissions, talk about what, if you want to get work from him. So this is going to be fun, and I'm really excited to talk to him. So I welcome William Wolford. Hey.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Phil.
How's it going?
Feeling pretty good, you?
I was like, did he fall asleep? The camera's I made that joke about seeing you behind stage, and all of a sudden your camera went off. I was like, oh, he must have picked his nose or something. And then all of a sudden, you never came back.
Yeah, once I kept it off, I just kept it off.
So how you doing?
Doing good. Kind of tired, actually.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I'll pep you up. I'll rev you up. It's funny, though, because you've watched my shows. You've gotten to see my face, but I have never seen you face-to-face before. So it is a pleasure to formally meet you after 2 years of friendship on Facebook.
Wow, it's been that long, actually? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it? Yeah, my first show was in 2018, and we met when I was doing that. So
okay.
Yeah, it goes fast. But you're going to have to wake up and pep up, my friend. You look like you're ready to pass out. Don't make me go reach through and slap you. Come on.
I was actually going to take a caffeine pill to help me wake up, but not a good idea if I'm going to try to take a nap. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you got a 20-minute segment. We can go a little longer if you like. If you're tired and you want to cut it short, that's fine too. Okay. But tell us a little about yourself. Tell us what you're into and what you're doing, and then we'll start showing some people what you do.
Okay. So I've always been into art, especially when I was younger. My parents got me into comics. They would buy me stuff, and that's how I got introduced to drawings and stuff. And then as I got older and going through school, you get exposed to different types of mediums, different types of artists. So I really liked Michelangelo, and I was big on the Renaissance stuff because I liked the kind of cartoony, realistic paintings. And then just started seeing other stuff pop up every once in a while, like in magazines. Heavy metal covers really amazed me because of the high detailed paintings.
Sure.
Art was kind of something I wanted to get into as a career, but got kind of talked out of it because you know how parents are. They're like, they're worried about their children, that there's not enough money in it and you won't make a living. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, it is pretty hard. You just have to keep at it if you really enjoy it. And so I tried jumping back in around 2005, maybe. Try and get back into art after I'd been on a hiatus where I actually didn't do any more drawing. I kind of regret that, actually, because you have to start from the ground up again. You lose all your hand-eye coordination. So you have to rebuild stuff again, which is kind of disappointing and frustrating at times. And, the first comic book art gig I had was with Markl. Because it's funny because I didn't get to finish art school. I won't get into that. But there was some stuff that went on. So I had to get out eventually because I couldn't afford it as well. So I was... I could either do art as a career and try to make it happen, or, just don't make it happen and then wish I did 10 years later.
Right.
So I had to teach myself how to ink within 5 months. I got decent. I didn't get great at it. I'm still learning, but I think I want to say October, I went to Houston and met Markl. And it's kind of funny. I was hesitant about meeting him. And I guess at the time too, I was kind of shy of showing my work, so I had something to play into it as well. But I'm glad I did because he actually gave me my first book. I worked on one of his Naughty and Nice books,
He's a great
And,
guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's really cool. Yeah, I enjoy talking to him. Every once in a while, I'll see him and I'll say hi to him. So after that, one of his friends contacted me for another indie book, and I can't remember what indie book it was, but I think his name is Dietrich Smith, and I did. It's like ghost writing, but it's ghost inking. So I did a little bit of that for one graphic novel. And what else? Let's see.
Well, one of the
I
things
did.
I like about you is that you are continually trying to get better. You learn. You took classes with Joe Prado at the Kubert School. You're learning how to color at Chris Sotomayor right now. I mean, you're really trying to, you'll be successful. You've already had some success, but you're going to be successful because you keep striving to learn and be better.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I tried to, and I tried to figure out why I was able to actually ink in a short amount of time really well. Like I said, it was decent. It wasn't great. At the time, after I taught myself how to ink in 4 months or 5 months, I wouldn't be able to get picked up by Marvel. It wasn't that good.
Right.
Now, actually, last year, went to Dallas, did a convention. Marvel and DC were there. They were doing tryouts. I got picked for Marvel. So, I didn't get anything, but they really liked my work. And
Nice.
so I have their contact information. I'm kind of waiting a little bit so I can get my skills up a little bit more. And right now it's just really hard because of the pandemic. Like you're mentioning, a lot of people are losing jobs. So.
Right. Yeah, but you're making the best of it. You're increasing your skill set. Yeah, and that's the key for you right now. Make connections, increase your skill set, get better. And that's what you can do at this time. Absolutely. RLJ3 Vision said, awesome inks. I'm checking out your Facebook now. Well, just wait until we show you. Just wait. You see these jams behind me? He inked 2 of them, and we're going to show you those. And he did a great job. Very impressive. So let's start. This was my Marvel jam. And look at the job he did. It's digital inks, but fantastic job. I mean, I love the way the Hulk came out. I'm a big Hulk fan. I love the way Jason Metcalf drew the Hulk here. Jason knows those layouts, and you inked him beautifully. So can you walk us through the process? What's your mindset when you start to ink something like this? Because there's no indication of where the light source is. And then you have internal light sources that you have to take into consideration as well as external. Like, for example, the light on the hand of Doctor Strange, and things like that. So can you walk us through that?
When I do inking samples, I do sequential. So you don't get a variety of inking styles or a drawing style, pencil styles, and then you get different lighting sources. So when I approached this, I had to keep in mind the style that the penciler did, and try not to deviate too much from it.
Right.
And also try to figure out how to apply my own style into it. I'm really bad with characters' names. Is that Namor, I guess?
Yes, in the front.
Okay. Yeah. So for him, the artist indicated, I think, almost solid black. And, everybody else, there's kind of some solid blacks, but not really. So I was like, well, let me just mess with it a little bit. Let me do a little bit of a fade. So that gives me a little bit of chance to put some of my style into it. I really love a lot of rendering and a lot of detail. So I have to be really careful when I'm inking somebody. That's why I pay attention to how their style is, because you can't add too much line to it. Then it'll take away from it.
Right.
And then you have to pay attention to where the shadows are, and that indicates the light source. So I have to be aware of the thin and thicks as well.
Well, I think you did a phenomenal job. I'm very happy with the piece. I'm grateful for it. And you're very affordable. I'm just letting everybody know right now, if you want inks on a project or just a commission, and you have a budget, Will is very well affordable and worth every penny of what he puts out there, as you can see here. I want to show you some more stuff. Before I do, we have some questions from some people. So let me just get this back here. So first of all, Steve said, woo-wee, just checked out some inks by William. Gorgeous lines. RLJ3 Vision said, do you do any traditional inking or is it all digital?
I do a little bit of traditional. I haven't done anything in terms of either samples that are completed or actual commission work doing traditional. It's something I have to get used to, trying to learn how to make the tools work for me. I've always done my inks digitally when I taught myself. I guess it's like 2 years now, 3 years. So I have to try to get over the hurdle of trying to use the traditional tools. But at the moment, I'm not doing any traditional inking as commissions. So
David Peterkin said, Will Wolford. So that's what you look like.
yeah, I'm kind of behind the scenes.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Absolutely worth every drachma. So let's get to more stuff that you're doing here. I mean, here's my New Mutants Jam. Again, I'm gonna enlarge this for people. This was the New Mutants, and you see Warlock is a trick, but this piece, and I did a show on this. I don't know if you saw it, Will.
Yeah,
it's very tricky because you have light sources. You have external light source somewhere, right? Based on the shading that everybody did. You have a light source from Sunfire. You have a light source from Sunspot. You have a light source from the Magic's Flame Sword, and you have a light source from Magma. And you have to take all of that into account when you're inking this. And I thought you did a wonderful job.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And then just looking at Sunspot, I would think that's difficult because he's an all blacked out character. So how do you ink him to flesh him out and make him look three-dimensional and like a person? You know what I mean? I was very impressed with this, man. So take a look at this, everybody. And I do like the way you do shading and grading. Some inkers don't do that. It's all black or it's all just lines, and you're doing some nice line work. You're doing line weights with what you're doing. When less is more. You do some cross hatching. You know all the techniques. And Wolfsbane, you tightened up the lines very nicely because she's very fuzzy the way she was drawn. So again, going through this process, I mean, how was it for you? Besides adhering to the art styles, recognizing all these light sources going on in one page.
Yeah. Again, I like you were mentioning, I try to stay to what the pencilers indicated because actually they did a lot of the hard work for me, taking into consideration how the light source is and how it's being affected by somebody else. So to me, it wasn't really that much of a challenge. There was some challenges where the pencils were a little bit looser than I actually ink over sometimes. Like you said, Wolfsbane.
And Thunderbird.
Thunderbird and Xavier. Those were a little bit looser, not as much as Wolfsbane. So, I mean, they gave me a little bit of opportunity to put a little bit of my style into it. But again, I have to be really careful about how they threw down their rendering, and that gave me an idea of how much to go and not to push it too much. But I also wanted to indicate enough lighting in there to make it look cohesive with the other objects or the other characters. I didn't want it to look like, oh man, this one looks cartoony and then the rest looks super detailed.
Right.
So, I mean, and then like Wolfsbane, that one was actually really tough. I was kind of figuring out how to do the push and pull of things to make things stand out and make things recede. Like her foot, I can't remember if it was actually solid black, so I decided to do a gradient.
I can tell you, I got it right here.
And
no, it was. He had shaded it. It wasn't solid black, but again, it was very rough.
Okay, and then the hand, I can't remember. So instead of doing a solid black, I decided to do a gradient as well. That way, it would the leg would.
Yeah, there was no gradient on the hand.
Okay.
It's on the wall behind me. So I'm looking right
Cool.
at it.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Give me some, or people as well, some information, because it's been a while since I did that. It was last year, I believe.
New Mutants you didn't do too long ago. How was
Oh,
Warlock? Was he tough?
Warlock.
The robot.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say it was too tough.
Okay.
Actually, that was pretty interesting to do. It didn't take long.
Okay.
The hair, or the antenna things, whatever it's called, out of its head. At first I thought it was gonna take long, but it didn't. And then I got really excited, and I was actually doing some whiteout details across some of the black strands on his head.
Right.
So
Keith is a big Sunfire fan. He loves Sunfire. So you did again over Jason Metcalf's work. Jason has very tight lines. He's got a 90s style, and you did a great job over that 90s style.
Thanks.
And it shows your versatility because again, you have Bob McLeod on this, and then you, which is one of my favorite pencilers. But then you've got a totally different style with Philip Tan, Viken Marion, and Jason Metcalf, which are much tighter 90s styles. Then you got Eduardo Pansica with Warlock, and then Buzz was loose with the hair and fur, on Wolvesbane, and so you and Miko Soyan was very tight with Cypher, and you did a wonderful job of balancing it all to where there was a cohesion and a consistency throughout each piece. So I think that's important that people don't look at that stuff. They don't realize.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
This was my Jedi Nightcrawler you did for me, from Ricardo Silva, and you added that background yourself because it was just on a plain background. And again, beautiful job with the negative spacing here. Like the negative colors to show the reflection of light and where there's shadow. And it's not easy. I don't think it's easy personally in the way you did the hood. Just a fantastic job, wonderful job with the background. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. wanted to try to push my inking skills and make it more interesting and create more depth. Kind of what colors do color holds, and I kind of did that in a way with the smoke. I kind of overlaid the smoke on the tail or certain things like the lightsaber, the second one behind him, just to create a little bit more depth. And I think it came out pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I love it, and I got it colored by Sigmund Torres. So
yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
Okay, so I went to Dallas. I can't remember last year. I know that for sure. It was the Northern Dallas Expo, I think it was called, and I wanted to go see Andy Smith and Bart Sears. They were both going to be there, so I decided to drive up there. And I'm not sure how long it takes, but it's more than 3 hours, I think. So I drove up there. I was excited because I've talked to Andy, I think around the time I started inking, and trying to get work and stuff, which is like around 3 years ago. And, everybody knows Bart Sears, and he's one of my favorite artists. So it was a good opportunity to meet him too. So I talked to them, and I saw one of these drawings by Bart Sears, and I asked if I could buy that one, and he had it for sale. And I was fortunate enough to get it. I think he dropped the price for me because it was something I wanted to have and also ink over.
Right.
So I have the actual personal piece that was used, I guess, for Wizard magazine or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is cool. It's kind of loose.
Yeah.
Gives me some type of way to play with it. I could do whatever I want because it's mine. It's not a commission, so I can go crazy. Like I said, I like a lot of details. I grew up liking Spawn with Todd on it and Greg Capullo. So I was like, well, I love detail. Let me just mess around with it. I tried to create more of like you're talking about, a more cohesive lighting. Make it look like everything's working together. I'm not saying that Bart didn't do that. It was a quick sketch, and I know that he will refine stuff as he goes along because either he inks it or somebody else does. So, I mean, I like how it came out. It gives me a chance to experiment. I may have, if I do it again, I may do things a little bit differently. But that's just the growing process.
Well, I think it was fantastic. And Steve Garcia said, "Ooh, I love that."
Thanks.
And there it is again. And what do we got here? This is beautiful.
Yeah, this one. So I'm not really sure what the details. I was taking inking lessons with Richard Friend, and
That dude can ink. Jesus.
yeah, he's an amazing inker.
He's
I really love his
incredible.
stuff.
Yeah.
So this guy was also one that was taking. His name is Philip Stojak. I think that's how you say his name. So he was one of Richard Friend's, I guess, apprentices as well, as you could say. So he was taking lessons from him, and so I was following him because I liked his drawings. He liked my ink, so he's like, "Hey, let's collab, and can you do this piece for me?" And I don't think it's his original characters. I think it's like some D&D thing, and so he wanted me to do it because he was gonna put it on a shirt for him and his friends because they use those characters when they play.
Right.
So, and he gave me free reign, which I really love because it gives me opportunity to play with the textures and give a little bit of my style in there.
Right.
So, he had some input, and of course, and like the dice, they were actually supposed to be white, but he's like, "Hey, can you do it black instead?" So I did little modifications, but for the most part, I mean, he just gave me like 98% free reign on whatever I wanted to do on there.
Nice cross hatching in some spots here too. Very nice.
Thanks.
And we got this. What's this?
That's actually a Bart Sears drawing. I'm not sure what cover that's from, but he sent me some high res to practice over. So I did a practice over that, I guess like 4 or 5 months ago.
Nice.
Thanks.
Got some pencils here.
Yeah, I was just gonna show so you can see the difference, or also the people that are watching, to see what goes on in the inks. There's some people that other people call it, they trace them, the pencils.
Yeah.
And then there's some that actually deviate a little bit from the pencil, but not too much.
Right.
So I did a little bit of different things in there.
Like in her cape, you can see some differences that you did with where you shaded, and the clothes you can see a lot. Yeah.
So I mean, I just wanted to show people that because they're probably wondering what inkers do. I know there's a lot of artists on here, so they already know. But
John Royal. Oh, I love his art, man, and his G.I. Joe stuff. I love his stuff.
Yeah, his stuff's really cool. I love it. Reminds me of J. Scott Campbell.
Yes, absolutely. Was it Zorana?
Yeah.
Is that name? Yeah, very nice. Nice clean lines he has. But look at that.
Yeah.
Nice detail.
And then those are my inks.
Nice. Look at that. Very nice.
Thanks.
Up here. And this is Royal again. Who colored?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Alonso Espinoza actually did the colors.
Is that DC?
And he did an amazing job.
Is that DC?
What was that?
DC Alonso?
I'm not sure what he got. It's Alonso Espinoza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, very nice.
Thanks.
I remember this piece. I remember when you posted this. So this is the pencils. And if you look, you see all this going on here, but you also have to capture the reflection, and you have some shading here, and obviously here, and the hat. So let's see what you did with that. Okay. It kind of reminds me of the speckling that you did on my Jedi Nightcrawler. Very nice.
Yeah, sort of like that, yeah.
And you kept the glass, the mirror, and shading here. Very nice. Like it a lot. Hellboy. What's his name? Bowden?
Yeah, Mike Bowden.
Yeah, he cartoony. I'm not usually a cartoony style guy, but I really like his work.
Yeah, I really like his stuff. It reminded me of Joe Madureira. I think that's how you say his last name.
Yes. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful work on the inks, man.
Thanks.
Batman. That's what you got behind you too in color on your banner.
Yeah, the banner. I'm getting ready
Spider-Man.
for conventions. I started that last year.
Very nice. Figures the timing of everything, right?
Yeah. Well, it gives me a little bit of time to catch up because I think I have several more prints I want to do. I have 2 that are finished, but I haven't even printed them out yet.
Okay. Look at this X-Men one, Juggernaut, and I like the composition.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That is my friend Kleber Lima. So he did the pencils. What was that?
A lot going on in this.
Yeah, I was amazed. I told him if he wanted to collab doing a print, and then he could do his, and then I can do mine. Like in terms of we can sell it. So when I got it back, I was like, oh geez, I wasn't expecting that much details in it, and I didn't mind, but I just didn't think he was gonna do that much work. So.
Well, I mean, I love Colossus. He's my second favorite character. I love the way he's blocking this. The only fault I see in this thing is there's no Nightcrawler. Damn you. Damn, that's blasphemy. Blasphemy. Harley Quinn. And then we got Mario. I remember this print. Who colored this?
Ivana Mattia, I think that's how you say her last name.
Oh, yeah, I think I follow her.
Very cool. She's really good.
This is a nice one.
Yeah.
Who drew it?
Man, I'm bad with names. Man, he's gonna kill me. And I think I should have wrote that down. What is his name?
That's all right. There's the colored Batman. Yeah, I'll give you. I'm not gonna hang you there. There's that Batman that's on your banner behind you.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, as an inker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pencilers worry about inkers drowning out their lines, but do inkers worry about colorists drowning out their inks because colorists throw in that shade and that light and all that? Do you ever run into that situation?
Honestly, since these are my personal pieces, I can't say that for like books. Like if I got hired to do a book or a commission, since I only do one aspect of the art, I don't do all 2, like penciling and inking. So I really don't have a say in it. But for my personal pieces, I kind of look for artists, the colorists that I really like and how I feel like they would do a good job. So I kind of had a list of people that I follow, and I kind of like look and see how they're doing the pieces that they're either commissioned or stuff they're doing for practice. And then I figure like, okay, well, they're consistently doing a good job. I don't have to worry about them messing up on my prints. Ivana is really amazing if you're looking for a colorist. I told her what I wanted and she did it and I got it back. I didn't have any like, oh, well, you need to redo this. This is not what I was looking for. I kind of also gave her what I was looking for up front. That way there was no guessing for her on her part.
Right. And this one was colored by Kris Sotomayor, who is obviously tops in the industry. This is a beautiful piece. You did great inking lines on this. You didn't send me just the inks of this, but you have posted it. So if you go to William Wolford's Facebook and Instagram, you will find all of this stuff. The colored ones that we didn't show, the inked version, you will find it there. Very, very impressive. You're a really talented, man, and you just keep growing, and I think that's wonderful. Me personally, if you don't mind my unsolicited opinion, get into traditional inking too, my friend. Do it. Just do it. I know you can do it. Just put the time in and do it, because you really do have a great eye for inking. You know what you're doing. It's just getting comfortable with the different texture, of your hand and the pen, and and you know what I mean, and doing the lines. So I think it would be great for you to start. That's just my opinion. I know you didn't ask for it, so forgive me.
No, you're really right, because I haven't had other artists, tell me, hey, why don't you do traditional as well, because you have another avenue. There's some people that want traditional.
There's a stigma against digital work, period. I mean, look, in the industry, digital work is key, and there is obviously need for it. and it comes in handy too, especially if you have tight deadlines. But there is a stigma, with digital. So, and that's a shame, but there is. And I think you definitely get a lot more work too if you could to do both comfortably and confidently. But I've always been impressed with your work. I remember when I first saw it. I remember the picture I first saw, and I think you're just getting better and better and better every day. And I think great things are on the horizon for you. I hope so. I hope they continue.
I appreciate
what I
it.
will say is take some smelling salts or something, because you're like out of it right now, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired, but it's something that I, like you're saying, I need to work on. I've had, I think I've lost some jobs. I know I lost one, and I was polite, and I didn't want to feel like I don't want the person to feel like I was actually trying to be rude, the other artist. And I was like, why are we asking these questions? Because I could tell they're kind of insinuating that they would have hired me, but I was working digitally. And he was honest enough to tell me, which I really appreciate. He was like, yeah, he goes, if I pay an artist, I want to be able to get the money back somehow. And if I have the traditional actually physically inked, then I can sell that and not lose so much money having to pay an inker.
Right. Well, look, I mean, you are the type of guy that keeps moving. You keep learning and you're growing, and I think you're going to be fine. I mean, I think you're fine now, and I think it's just going to get even better for you. A lot of people impressed. You've already honestly, you've already worked with Marat and Counterpoint and other people. So you've already got credentials. You've already got credits under your belt, which is phenomenal considering. It was early in your career that you started really getting opportunities. So just keep at it.
Yeah, I'm trying, and I appreciate it. I'm trying not to let the environment right now in terms of the coronavirus and things, get me down. I know that's it's a lot of artists are actually going through the same struggles, even veterans that are pros right now that have a hard time. They're trying to transition somehow.
You know what though, Will, you are affordable. Now is the time to push yourself out there to get commissions. Are you open for commissions?
Commissions? Yeah, I can do some commissions. Hopefully I don't get flooded with them, but
well, you don't get flooded if you just tell them, I'm sorry, I've met my limit. Reach out to me again in a month or two. You set your limit. How many can you do in a month or two? And you take month by month basis. I'm open for 5 commissions right now, whatever your number is. And you can get a waiting list for people, if they really want your work, they'll come back.
Cool. Yeah. And I appreciate that advice. Yeah, I'm open for commissions. If somebody wants some inks done, I'm willing to do that. Even if it's one piece or maybe even a book. If you need an inker for a book, I'm willing to do that as well. Because I've actually inked some books with Eric Notowski, some issues.
Great guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. And those colored pictures that you saw, my inks, those are prints I have for sale as well. So even if you can't afford any inks, maybe you have some family want to buy a Christmas presents for it, and I'm selling them for $20 plus shipping. I think shipping's like $7. If you buy more than one, I can go $15 instead of $20 for the print. And then I have actually some smaller size. It's almost like a comic book size.
Nice.
And those would be 10. So, and then if you actually want more of these smaller ones, I can go instead of 10, I'll go like 5. And then of course shipping.
I mean, well, yeah, you have no control over shipping, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, when I ship out the prints that people win for free, whether it's one print or it's 4 or 5, it's still $7. So yeah, that's what it costs. It is what it is, and that's not your fault. But yeah, I mean, Christmas is coming, man. You could get a bunch of prints for somebody that loves art. I mean, Batman, Hellboy, blah, blah. The only thing's not for sale are my jam pieces.
Yeah, I won't sell those.
But I want to pop up the first one again because I want everybody to realize what they're getting for a very affordable rate with inks. I mean, look at that. That is my jam piece. That is 12 different professional artists that he has inked over and done an amazing, wonderful job and made it look fantastic. It's hanging up on my wall behind me, and so is the colored version below it. Actually, can I show the colored version? Like, let me
Sure,
tip
that's fine.
up. There's a glare, but that's the colored version right. How am I doing with this with my finger? Right there. It's hard to really see, but there's the colored version, and there's Will's piece right above it.
That's cool.
And here is the good side to digital, though. Ready? Everybody listen to this. There's no shipping. There's no waiting for it to be mailed. He digitally will ink it, sends you a high-res file, and you print it up. And if you have a printer like I do, it prints up perfectly fine with black ink. If you don't, you go over to Staples, you pay $4 or $5, and it's printed up, and you have it right there, and then you frame it. It looks beautiful. So there are. That's some of the good sides to inking digitally and having him commissioned digitally. I have a nice Epson workforce. That's what all the artists use, and I can print up 11 by 17, no problem. And that's what I did. He sent me the file. In 3 minutes, I had it printed up, and in 5 minutes, it was hung up on my wall, and I was able to enjoy a beautiful piece. So I highly recommend that. I highly recommend Will. And I'm not saying that because I've been friends with him for 2 years on Facebook. That's how I became friends with him, because I admired his work, and we started talking about his work. I'm an art collector, and I don't trust anybody, just anybody, to ink my jams over. I'm not going to spend money on anybody to ink jams. I'm not looking to throw money out the window. So obviously I knew I was getting quality from William, and that's why I did it. So as you could see from that piece, I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I mean, like you're saying, the thing is, like, I send a digital file. You don't have to wait for shipping. I see a lot of horror stories where artists are getting stuff shipped to them that work for Marvel and DC, and then their stuff gets damaged, and then they have to try to figure out how to ink over it when they're traditional inkers.
Yep.
So if you have a prized possession like Philip does, he has all these original arts. You don't want to, you're kind of scared sometimes to ship something because it get lost, damaged. That way, it's protected. You just send me the file, I ink it, then I send it back to you right away, and then you take it to Staples or something, place that is printing, and you can actually request really high grade papers. I think you can even do it on a canvas if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could do it on a canvas. You're right. You could do it on a canvas and hang a nice canvas picture up. A lot of people do this too. If you get it digitally put on a canvas or whatever, if you're a painter, you could paint over it yourself on the canvas, over the inked piece. People render like that. But there's plenty of professionals that do that too. They'll digitally draw something and then ink it digitally, but then they will go to a traditional painting over it, and now it's this original painting, and it's gorgeous. Whether you do watercolors or oil, pastel, whatever. So there is a large variety of options when you get someone like Will to ink a piece.
That's actually a good idea. I didn't even think about that. I mean, even if you print on a bristle board, which is what original drawings come on from comic book artists, you can have colorists or even inkers. Some of them actually do Copic markers or pencilers, and then it becomes an original piece now, even though you printed it out, because you have those Copics on there, the colors. Dude, it's a pretty amazing idea.
At one of my shows, Alex Sinclair was there, and he said he had never done that many color commissions in a show in one day ever. Wow. He did 8 color commissions that day. And Alex Sinclair, he does digital coloring for the industry, but he can traditionally color. He used Copic, and markers and stuff like that, and he did some fantastic coloring on some pieces. Yeah, man, and it just brightens it up, and it's beautiful. So there's definitely different things you can do. That's what they do. Basically, like I send him a blue line, a high-res 600 DPI blue line, and he inks over that, and that's exactly what he does. And that's why, if you look on the wall, I have the pencils intact. See the pencils all the way up top? I have his digital inks, and then I have the colored, which was also over the high-res scan of his inks. And like you said, absolutely, you could have all 3 versions and the pencils stay intact. And I do love that. And yes, you have a workforce also. That's cool. So William is open for commissions. I highly recommend it. He's also got prints. Where can we find you? Where can we buy prints, Will?
So I'm on Facebook, William Wolford. I don't. If you go on there and you follow me, because I have my profile set to private. It's more family and friends. I really don't use it for business too much.
Then you better open an art page, William. I'm gonna have to rep you. I'm gonna. What am I gonna do with you, son?
All right. I have Instagram. That's more focused for art. I'm not as social on there per se in terms of just posting like pictures of me or something like that. I strictly focus just with art on there. So anything I'm working on, I put it on Instagram, and you can see it actually right behind me.
Yes, Art
right
of Wolf. Art of W. Wolf.
But actually, I had to change the Wolf part, so it's my whole full last name. It's WOLFORD, so it's Art of W. Wolford. As you can see probably on the screen right now, it has my whole last name. So
if you need a website, reach out to RLJ3 Visions.
Cool, yeah, I'm about to do that. I'm really bad with websites.
I'm going to tell you this, and I'm being very serious about this. You need to start an art page on Facebook.
Okay.
You have to. So you can keep yours private for friends, but you have a place for your art and get followers. That's a first must.
Okay.
Then I agree with RL. You have to get a website where you could sell your prints, sell your work, get commissions, and you have to establish a website to direct people to buy. You've got to realize. Forgive my preaching to you, but you're a friend. I like you a lot, and I want to see you succeed. You have to realize that the average person has 15 things going on a day. They don't have time or the patience, even if they have the time. You have to give them a laser focus of where to go. I want this. Well, right here's where you get it. They're not fumbling. They're not clicking 15 things. They're not looking around. They don't give a crap about any of that. You will lose people with that. You get a website. You get an art page on Facebook. You cross-promote the 2 of them. You show people what you've got on the group page and your art page on Facebook. You show them what you're worth. You send them to the website to buy what you're worth.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that. I really appreciate that. I will actually do that. That's a really good idea. I need to, like you're saying, keep it focused for people, because even me, if I don't take photos or write things down, I end up forgetting too. That's one of the things, because we get so much information. We're doing things constantly, and like you're saying, if I have it where people click on it, that's it. They see it. They can just order something, and then that's it.
You can do what I do. Look at my link scrolling below. That's Linktree. You go to Linktree, you set up an account, and that sends you to everything you have. When you click that Linktree for me, it goes to my website for my Creatorcon 2-day show. It goes to my website for my Suffolk Comic and Art Expo 1-day show. It goes to my Q&A on YouTube. And it goes to my Creatorcon Facebook page. So you click the link tree, and then you pick which link you want to click to go to. It's that simple.
Wow.
Yeah, like you said, make it easy for the customer. Make it easy for the customer. Make it in a sense that it's effortless. And if you look at any professional website, a good website is very user-friendly. You scroll through and you find everything. Nobody wants to click an arrow and wait 5 seconds, or you click it and now you click back and you're like, oh, now I got to go. That pisses people off, and like, I'm done. I don't give a crap. I'm out.
Yeah, that makes sense too, because I had a website for a bit. I'm really new to all social media stuff and creating websites. So after a couple of months, I just got rid of it, because like you're saying, I didn't know how to design a web page really well, and just for me trying to learn it, it was frustrating. So, but I'm about to reach out to RLJ3 Vision. So
yeah, and again, before you even do the web page, it costs you nothing but a few minutes of your time. Start a Will Wolford art page on Facebook, and link your Instagram too. Like, link in the sense that you can just put your Instagram info on the art page, so they know where to follow you there too.
Okay.
And it's where you send all your art fans and you separate it from the intimate people in your life. Do it.
Okay.
It costs
I'll do that.
nothing. Go get some sleep and then wake up in the morning and do it.
Okay.
Will, thanks for being the last guest, for waiting so long. I appreciate it. I know it's been a day. I've been on for 3 hours now. And that doesn't count the half hour I was on before with Peter. So I get it. It's a long day. I appreciate you coming on. I want to remind everybody to please follow William Wolford on Instagram. It's at Art of W. Wolford, his full last name, WOLFORD, on Instagram. And you'll see some awesome art. That's all he posts. No selfies. You'll see art. And if you DM him on Facebook, he'll probably get back to you. And he soon will have a Facebook art page up for you to follow. Follow him, support him, commission him, buy some of his prints. Very affordable, very talented, but it's also going to a good person. You're not going to an egomaniac. You're not spending your hard-earned money on a jackass. Your money is going to a good, decent guy who's just trying to make it in the world like the rest of us. So please go support him. Go buy something for somebody for Christmas or treat yourself to something. Very affordable. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, Phil. I mean, you've been a good friend. You really helped me out a lot. I've had the pleasure of actually meeting a lot of artists. Hopefully, I can keep this career going and meet more people. And I met a lot of nice people that are like you that helped me out, which is really cool. The art community is really small, so everybody kind of knows each other, and there's a lot of good people out there that help each other out, which is really cool. And I'm really glad to call you a friend, and you help me out so much. So that's a good thing.
You're gonna change one thing though, Will.
What's that?
You don't say if I'm going to be able to continue in this industry. There's no if. There's no if. Life is like geology, time and pressure. If you give it enough time and you continually give some pressure to it, you'll break through. That's it. Don't look at what the Joneses are doing, because that's a distraction. You lose your focus. If you're worried about where everybody else is, then you're not focused on where you are or where you want to be. Don't worry about that. There's no timetable. Harrison Ford didn't get his role as Han Solo until he was 39 years old, and he was the carpenter on the set. Age, station, none of that matters. That's all ego, and you don't have one, which is a good thing. You focus on your craft, being the best that you could be at it, and you network the way you've been networking, and you've been very good at that. And you have no doubt, there'll be no doubt that you'll be fine. Okay? So there's no if, there's no I hope. There is I am and I will. That's it. No pun intended, Will. I'm serious. Look, I believe what Captain Kirk says. I don't believe in a no-win scenario. I don't. You may have to bleed a little. You may have to sacrifice. It may not always be 100% what you want, but you can win.
Yeah.
You just got to bleed for it. And you got to just get better, learn. That's it. And you'll be there, So I do appreciate. I'm sorry that we had to keep you up so late. I do appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I don't know if you remember that I'm supposed to be on in January sometime. Hopefully that happens. So
I was just about to look up that date, but yes, you are a guest in January. Good thing is the show will be a little earlier, so Will be awake.
Yeah, and I'll take caffeine, so that'll be a good thing.
So Will be have a full episode to himself that night. And we'll show some more work, and we'll talk more, and we'll laugh, and we'll have a good time, and hopefully get you some followers and some commissions.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Will, anything you want to say before you go?
No, that it was actually a pleasure being on here, and I am really not good at public speaking, so this is kind of awkward for me. I never liked it, but I mean, it's a good learning experience. It's good for setting me up for January when I actually have to do this for a whole hour. I think I've probably already done it for a whole hour right now, didn't I?
No, it's been about actually almost 40 minutes. Yeah, okay. Well, that's kind of why I did more of the talking too, because I was trying to ease you in. I know that you're a little shy about it, so I'm trying to ease you in. We'll get you going.
I don't do too many self photos because I'm all nervous and shy.
Will, I'm just going to give you one more bit of wisdom. No one in this world is going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself.
Yeah.
What you put out there is what you're going to get back. And if you don't put out humble confidence, be humble. You know, you're not better than anybody, but you're not worse than anybody either. You have to exude some confidence. You have to say, I believe in myself. I know what I'm worth. When you do that, they'll know what you're worth too.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that.
Look, have a good night. Thanks for being
You
on.
too.
Sorry you waited so
Thanks.
long. I appreciate it. And
That's
I won't
all right.
tell anybody I saw you picking your nose in the background. No, I'm kidding.
You have to tell people that. You have to. It's important.
Will, have a good night, and I will be talking to you
You
on
too.
Facebook Messenger.
All right. Have a good
Be
night.
good. All right, so that was a special episode of Creatorcon Q&A. Pulled it together last minute. We had a rough start. Peter Palmiotti, unfortunately, could not be with us because of Wi-Fi issues. It has been a long night, and we've had a faithful group of people that have stayed throughout the night, and my sincerest thank you to you all. You know, you stuck through the whole thing. You supported everyone that was on, and that is a testament to the people that you are, and I thank you. I do appreciate that everybody who supports the show supports what I'm doing here and supports the people that I'm trying to help and support myself. So thank you for that. And you should all give yourselves a pat on the back. Go have a drink on me in your kitchen, of course. But having said that, whoops, where'd you go? Why did that disappear? RLJ3 Visions. Great show, Philip. Thanks again for having me on. Which one were you? I don't know whose tag that is. John stuck with me the whole night. Steve, I love you guys, man. You guys are awesome people. I have to break bread with you someday. You have to come to my home and break bread if you're ever in New York. I'm serious about that. You're always welcome here. So I just want to say that I do work hard and I try, and I'm going to be very honest with you. Oh, Richard, awesome. I'm glad you're on. Thank you for coming on, and thanks for coming on early. I'm going to give you a little moment of being candid with me. It's been a rough month, and sometimes, you know, even I question, am I doing this right? Should I be doing this? Is this worth it? Why, you know, am I really helping? Am I reaching anybody? So, you know, we all have our doubts and moments. I get over it. I move forward. So I hope that what I am doing is helping people. I hope it is the right thing. I hope it is enjoyable for people. And if it isn't, give me feedback. What do I got to do to make it better? Because that's what I want to do. I want to make it better for these people to get exposure. Having said that, I'm just going to plug a few quick things for those who are still awake or those who watch later. Again, I have my own show, the Suffolk Comic and Art Expo. It is a physical convention on December 6th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. It will be cleaner than your Walmart and Target. I'm very serious about that. I'm a nurse by day, promoter by night. We will have staff cleaning every surface throughout the entire day. And when I say cleaning, not just shifts, they will be cleaning all day, walking around cleaning, and the next person will come in and clean. All you're going to see is people cleaning. And we're going to adhere to social distancing. There are no aisles to get clogged in. It's an open floor with the surrounding tables. We are mandating masks. There will be a survey, everyone participating in, vendors included, patrons included, have to fill out stating that they are asymptomatic and they have not been in contact with anybody out of state. So I promise you, I'm going to make it clean and safe for everybody, because we have to show that the world is still spinning. We're not done, okay? So this doom and gloom shit doesn't work for me. We have to have hope, we have to have faith, and we have to be that hope and faith. So I hope you all come out. I don't make a lot of money on this show, guys. It's a $5 cash door. This isn't about a cash grab, I promise you. It was helping out artists who needed help getting rid of inventory and making some money. And to me, it's about showing hope that we can get to some semblance of life, that we don't have to give in to despair. I don't buy that at all. I have my moments, like I said a moment ago, but they're fleeting. And I hope they're fleeting for you too. Having said that, Billy Tucci, Larry Stroman, Keith Williams, Rodney Ramos, They'll all be at the show. Tony Cordos, Alex Rivera, and some great local talent will be at the show. We'll also have 7 vendors there, comic book vendors that have everything from slabs, keys, dollar bins, trade paperbacks for like $5 each, you name it, and it'll be there for your comic needs. So come on out, $5 cash at the door, cash, so we're not going back and forth with a credit card, which is another way to keep. So come on out. Please support everybody that was on this show tonight. Go check out what they're doing. You know, whether it's a Kickstarter or a podcast, go support them. We work hard at this. We all do. And sometimes you may not realize it. You think, oh, I just sat here. I've been on this for 3 hours and 45 minutes. And it's not always easy doing this. It's not simple to just be up here and talk. And so, there's research that goes into the people and the guests we have. So it can be difficult. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. Time away from my family. Their time away from family with everything they're doing. So please support them. Let them know it's not for nothing. Really, support them. Support this show to give them exposure and support them. I also want to remind you, yesterday's guest was Heroes for Causes. There's no nobler cause than these guys who created a comic book free. They are not getting paid to do this, so that all the proceeds go to patients with cystic fibrosis, which is a brutal chronic disease that ends a lot of lives early. It's bad. As a nurse, I'm going to tell you it's bad. Pediatric brain cancer is another thing they're doing a character for. And they're going to be doing other characters and expanding the universe for like depression and other mental health issues, etc., as well as cardiac issues. They're going to get into all of it. So I'm going to ask you, please go look up Heroes for, the number 4, Causes, and please check them out and donate. Even if you spend $5 on one of their comics. The art is fantastic by Donovan. The writing is great by Joseph. It's for a great cause, but you are getting something back. They also sell T-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. So please go support that cause. More than anything, that is the key. I mean, I'm sure we've all known somebody that suffered from cancer, at the very least. It's brutal. And American health insurance doesn't cover a lot of cancer treatment. So please help. Donate. I'm going to have a big news about what I'm doing in the business soon. I really want to tell everybody, but I got to wait a little longer. And there's Dante. We missed you, brother. I gave you a shout out earlier today. Dante, my buddy Dante Hicks, another faithful Rogues Gallery guy. Thank you. So we got the show, the Q&A. So Monday, I added another show. Sean Chen is coming back. Sean was on the first time. Unfortunately, Sean was going to be at the Suffolk show, but due to personal issues, had to cancel, which is very unfortunate, but we wish him and his family well and everything that he's going to be dealing with. But Sean will be on Monday night at 10 p.m. on the Creatorcon Q&A, again with his new book, Wingman, which I own. It's a great book. I mean, it really is a great book. I love this book. It's his writing debut. He draws it all, of course. It's a black and white. It's based on the seventh sign. But it's great humor in it, but also great drama. It reflects real life because life isn't just funny and it isn't just dramatic. It's all of it. It's a roller coaster, and it is a fun book. So I highly recommend Wingman. We're going to talk about that Monday at 10 p.m. with Sean Chen. Tuesday at 9 p.m., I have an indie creator, Andrew Russell Burkett. That's Andrew Russell, Birket. Go follow him on Facebook. Check out what he's doing. We're going to talk about that on Tuesday. Wednesday, I am a guest on It Came From the Radio's show at 4 p.m. I think it's aired the following Monday. So if anybody's interested in knowing my personal life, if you're not, I don't blame you. Feel free to listen to that. And then Friday, on Black Friday at 10 p.m., we have Brent Peoples. Brent Peoples drew the Asian Superman that came out years ago for DC. He was on Major X not too long ago with Rob Liefeld and Los Portasio and Adelso Corona. Great artist, really cool dude. I had him at my last show. Great guy. I really like him a lot. Love his art. I've had him on my jams. So come out and see him on Black Friday. And then the following Cyber Monday, the 30th, I have another indie creator, Nandor Fox Schaefer. I'm going to talk about his indie projects. So it's busy, very busy. So please come out. Please share live. Please support. Please subscribe to the YouTube. I get as tired of asking you as you get tired of hearing me say it. So please do that. And again, I want to thank the Rogues Gallery and everybody that comes out. Appreciate it. And the last thing, John Ottinger. You're going to get tired of me saying this, my friend. But not only is John a faithful and listens to every show and supports, he is a creator of Dweors, Dweors, which is an English word for dwarves, and it's basically sentient robots, little robots in this fantasy world. It's children friendly. The illustrations are fantastic. He's also got a bunch of other merchandise, and he sent some stuff to me and my family out of the kindness of his heart. And I don't really know John well, and he was this kind. Mackay's, these little Mackay statues of the characters for my daughters, and they love them. Painted, fully painted, awesome. He sent me books, shirts, pins, cards. I mean, his generosity literally made me kind of teary-eyed that someone would be that kind to me and my family and do that for us. And I want everybody to go over to John Ottinger, Ottinger. Look up his Dweors and go buy it. It's awesome. And I'm going to do a little segment show one day on that, and hopefully he'll be a guest. He is a genuinely awesome human being. So thank you, John. Anyway, enough of the Academy Awards. They love me. They really love me. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for spending the time. For those of you who spend over 3 hours with me, you're insane, but I love you, and I appreciate it. No man thongs, Dante. Sorry. Not that kind of show. And he's not that kind of guy, at least as far as I know. But you know what? Maybe he should make some underoos. That'd be cool. So I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.